Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Wrestling Gam. I'm Travis. Delith will be here in a little bit, and it is time for Monday Night Raw. It is, we got Alpha Academy here tonight, and they're doing that IQ test. If you guys remember from last week, it's going to be Randy and Riddle versus Otis and Chad Gable in an IQ test. So that should be interesting, to say the least. It does look like LA Knight and Roderick Strong had a match before that they're probably going to put on a episode of Main Event. So that should be exciting to watch for everybody. Oh, they're going to do the weigh-in first. There's a championship weigh-in. They're trying to make this more like the UFC with this. But Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar are going to do a weigh-in, and it looks like it's happening first. So I wonder if it's going to be legit, because it does make me wonder how much these guys weigh. All right, Bobby Lashley's coming out first, but in the meantime, we got Bryce up in here. We got Walter. We got Sophie, Ayla, James. Ayla, how was your trip? James Howell's up in here. And that's it so far. Unless there were some people before that. I can pan back up in there. Hey, there's Matthew. Matthew Delith will be in here in a minute. And Film Nation is in here. So, anyways, we appreciate all you guys being in here. If she's not in here in the next, 2 minutes, I'll start reading comments. But right now, they are going to do a weigh-in. Like the UFC. We just had the UFC Heavyweight Championship this past Saturday. Very, very good show. If you guys didn't watch. And I think the Featherweight Championship, the 125 Championship with Figueroa and Marino. And we might get a number 4 on that one. That's going to be crazy. They've literally fought 3 times in a row. And each one of them have won once. And then there was a draw in the first one. So, anyways, I'm not here to talk about UFC. So are they going to weigh him and get him out of the way and then bring Brock out? Or are they going to bring Brock out now also? You know, these contract signings never turn out well. And this is a weigh-in. So I'm sure it's not going to turn out very well either. What the hell kind of scale is that? Looks like something you'd pay at a circus or something to weigh yourself. I love it. It literally looks like an old-fashioned gas pump. Oh, here he is. Brock is there. They're going to bring him out now. Oh, Paul Heyman coming out first. They going to weigh Paul Heyman also? Oh, that's a fat joke. Hey, Ravi. Good to see you in here. It's for, Matthew, I just read your comment that said, I haven't watched UFC in a bit. What is the weigh-in on Raw 4? It is a weigh-in for the Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. Honestly, there's no reason that you can weigh anything you want unless you're trying to go for the Cruiserweight title. But like I said, they're trying to make it more like the UFC with this one because they're both fighters. With Bobby Lashley being in Bellator and Brock being in the UFC, they never fought each other in the octagon either. Look at Brock. He's got a cowboy hat on, a flannel coat, jeans, and a black shirt. I didn't see what boots he has on. Did he have a mohawk? Maybe he's got a ponytail back there. It's not the clothes you usually wear to a weigh-in. You're going to have to add like 10 pounds to his, or subtract 10 pounds for all of his clothes. I wonder how much a black leather cowboy hat costs. About $800. Is it a Stetson? All right, Brock is Circle in the ring. Going up the back steps. Nope. Circle in the ring. As the babyface, he's walking around slapping hands. How often do you see that? Brock being the babyface. But obviously still a badass at being a babyface. Both men have hats on. Bobby's is a ball cap, obviously, and Brock's has the cowboy hat. Would you like for me? Corey said, that's not the proper attire to get weighed in on. He said, you want me to get naked for you? He likes Carmella. He likes girls. He might. Bobby just took off his shirt. Yeah, he just took off his shirt. Can't see any skin on it. You can't even see his ankles. $273. Shredded. That is a massive human being. What's Brock gonna weigh in? About the same? Who has the flu? Ayla? Ayla's sick. She's got the ick. I don't know. She says she has the flu. So, MVP basically just said that Bobby's going to gain the same exact amount of weight as that WWE Championship after Royal Rumble. Corey wants him to take his clothes off bad.
Is he still asking for this?
He said, will you kindly hold my hat to Paul Heyman? Paul Heyman's like, yes, sir. $280. So they're about the same weight.
Yeah.
Bobby's all sorts of pissed now.
Because they're the same weight.
You're acting like a fool because you know I'm going to beat you for that title. Because at 283, that's not that many more pounds, and that's a lot of pounds in clothes. His jeans weigh 3 pounds easy.
Right.
And he left his jacket on. Those are heavy. That's a spoiler. Just look for.
My things.
Who's the comedian now?
What's on this side?
The Australian Open.
Oh, they have it now?
It's always in January.
No, I meant on TV now. Like this time.
Right, yeah. Well, it said it's new. It's probably recorded in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what time it is. It's either little Baltimore. I have her muted, so it's fine, but
Why'd you put her in here?
because it's so cool. Like, it shows you pictures of what you asked for.
Oh, I thought you wanted to put it in there. So you want it in here instead? You won't use it as much.
Oh my god.
That's not being mean. That's just being
Nobody's saying you're being
honest.
mean. It's you're not listening, so it doesn't help. I can ask it stuff while we're on the air,
Oh, I see.
and it shows pictures. Or the other one would just say it, and I'd be like, what did it say? Or whatever.
Hey, everybody. How's it going out there?
In the world!
Travis, say hi to everybody.
I tried to.
Did you say hi to Bryce? Was he in here
I
earlier?
did, yes.
Okay.
Bryce is in here.
He wants to know, is Damian Priest wrestling? No, not yet.
Obviously not right now, but he possibly could be. What matches do they have announced for the Royal Rumble? Supposedly there's 6 of them.
Something like that, I think.
I know this one. I know Roman's, and I know Esther. No, Esther doesn't have one. Just Becky and Doudrop. Charlotte doesn't have one, so that's 4. Is there any tag team matches that we know of? Not yet.
Not yet. They're just showing last year's Rumble stuff. Anyways.
Watch, they're going to have to cut the feed off right here.
Which ones did you read?
That's not... Oh, it was earlier. I didn't read any. I have not read one comment.
Ayla, those new flavors are Venturefuls. They're like a caramel brownie with sea salt is what they are.
It wasn't the main event, guys. It was the
But
end of day one.
Matthew responded to your cowboy hat question.
Oh, how much they cost?
Cowboy hats can cost a lot, aren't they? Measured in gallons. LOL. By the way, watching Attitude Era Wrestling, I finally got their joke with Prince Albert and his head being 8 3/8. LOL.
That's funny. I have a cowboy hat that's upstairs. It's really nice. The only problem with it is it was my dad's, and my head's bigger than him. So it won't fit on my cranium. I'd have to steam it or something. Is that how you do it?
I don't know. Maybe. I've never.
Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega up next.
Professional cowboy hat. Anyways, Matthew said Lashley and Brock are 2 of the biggest stars in wrestling. Brock more so. In that case, having the main event Mania makes sense unless we have a return during Rumble. Luna's like Bobby who? James howls in the chat. James says D, better late than never. Robbie says Bryce says hopefully not. Remy is in the chat. Says you both are great, sir. Madam, all the best to your future ventures. Stay healthy and stay happy always.
Thank you.
And God bless. She is laughing. Lieutenant Martha's laughing. And Film says, hey, Miss D and Travis. I'm back. I had to get an ice pack for my eye. It's swollen, but I am okay. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just swollen.
Why do you have a swollen eye?
Why do you have a swollen eye?
Is it like a thyroid
Why
thing?
is your right eye swollen? Did you get smacked in the eye? Did you get punched in the face? Did you say something to a girl and she didn't like it?
Smack.
No means no. Just so you know.
Leave your contacts in too long? That's what happens to me sometimes.
Sophie says Roman versus Seth. I could see them open the Rumble on Saturday. Matthew's like, Theraflu is done off their best medicine, the drink kind. Film said that. Mitzi says, Bobby, what now? And Ayla's like, yummy. Hear that, Matthew? Matthew's like, what? Caramel brownie and sea salt? Yummy. Yeah, Matthew, it's called the Adventureful
How bizarre.
Girl Scout cookie. The new one this year. They're only selling it with pre-orders, though. So you'd have to find a Girl Scout that has, like, a pre-order thing. Because if you wait for them to be at, like, places to sell it, they won't have them available.
Right, maybe they're trying them new, so they have to cook them. So they want to know how many they need to cook.
Okay, they're probably already boxed up, but sure, honey, that's exactly why.
Then why wouldn't they just mass produce them? They're just going to leave them in a
because they're a
warehouse
new
raw.
flavor, so they usually only have, like, they don't put them out there like all the other flavors. Anyways, Ravi says it would be funny if Esta tripped walking to the ring. Heidi from Staten Island says, exactly. And Ayla's like, I'm taking all the meds I can. Just make sure, Ayla, that you take meds for specific symptoms. Don't take medication that covers multiple symptoms and then take other medication that covers multiple symptoms or one symptom, because then you can overdose on a certain medication for a symptom.
Like acetaminophen.
So you're better off taking a pain medication for the pain. You're better off taking a decongestant only medication for the decongestant, and then so on and so forth, because that's usually what you want to do, is just do the symptoms. So like what I do is I get Mucinex D. That's what I get for any kind of decongestant for my face. I use ibuprofen for like body aches and fever, if that's what else is happening. And then I'll take a Benadryl, which will help with like the sneezing and stuff like that. So all 3 of those you can take, and then you just go off of how many times you can take those, like 4 to 6 hours or 4 to 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours in between. And then you're better off doing it that way than you are taking the medication that has everything in it, like Theraflu and what's that other one everybody really likes?
NyQuil.
NyQuil and stuff like that.
We are going to see this tonight. The largest birthday party ever for the beautiful.
Is it because of her boobs?
Maurice.
Just kidding. Let's see. Sophie says, your thoughts on the WWE moving Money in the Bank from July 2nd to July 3rd because of UFC booked a pay-per-view in the same arena on the same night?
Good.
It's in the same area.
I did not know that.
Didn't know that part.
But I was worried about that. I saw that when they released it. I was like, you son of a bitch, Vince. I was so mad that I was going to have to do something.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out already.
Film says Bianca is wrestling tonight. Yeah, so Sophie, we'll have to look into that because if what you're telling me is true, which if you can put a source of where you got the information, that would be great. Matthew says, Ravi, remember Titus O'Neil tripping and sliding under the ring? He should have just crawled under the ring and then stayed there until the end and then won. But it wasn't written that way, so.
That was the world's greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia.
Right. Ramit says, according to the online sources, Roman eliminate Moose in Royal Rumble 22 like Amos last year Royal Rumble eliminate Big E and Rey Mysterio. Matthew says, pre-order, that's just a marketing scam, $5 for 6 cookies. Yeah, but Matthew, it helps little girls become entrepreneurs and learn things. I don't mind helping that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'd give it for charity, so why can't I get a couple pieces of chocolate out of it?
Exactly.
Not that I eat that.
Right, but I mean...
But that's my theory.
That's mine, too. So, Film says, no, LOL, haha, good one, Misty. No, I decided once to swell overnight. I guess I have no idea. It started happening around Saturday or Sunday. I have no explanation for it. Okay, that sounds really bad. Is it still swelling or has it stopped? I mean, because either if it doesn't start going away soon, you need to go to a doctor.
What is it? What happened?
For his eye?
What
his
happened?
eye swelling?
Did he say what happened?
No, he just said it just started happening around Saturday or Sunday overnight.
Like, obviously, it's not your eyeball. So is it the skin around it?
Ravi says them cookies sound like a diabetic's dream.
Or is it coming
Ravi,
out of your eye?
All cookies are diabetic dreams.
Because if it's coming out, it could be something behind your eye, and that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Not really. But
Sophie says...
It's all fixable. Don't worry about it. Bianca's so strong. And going up against somebody like this...
Let's see. Sophie says, my aunt used to buy Girl Scout cookies when my cousin was younger, and I was a Boy Scout when I was a kid.
All right. Zelina Vega getting out-wrestled. Greco-Roman style. Look at this. As Bianca's got her from behind. Oh, she's trying to stomp on her inner foot there. That insole.
Matthew says, just remember they make meth out of Sudafed. It's... Matthew, they make meth out of sufedrin. It's an ingredient that is in a decongestant, and you have to have a driver's license to be able to get it over the counter.
Okay, we don't know what's in meth, and we are not promoting it on our
That's
channel.
why they have it, so your
don't
driver's
care.
license are that way, though. It's because of that
Meth,
specific
not even
thing.
once.
Exactly.
No mething around.
Ian says, I got beef power of a muscle, a bicep muscle.
Yeah.
Sophie
like
says,
Bianca.
the more you know with D tonight with her medicine lesson. Well, just trying to save some lives there, Sophie. Ian's like back, guys. And Matthew says, sea salt caramels are delicious. Combining it with a brownie, might as well get a scoop of ice cream, too.
Yeah, it does sound like that's something you'd want to do.
Right?
The salt in it.
Yeah. Ravi says, Dr. DGP is like, no, I'm taking all the medicine. Just kidding. I'm on Mucinex and a smoothie. The Mucinex has fever reducer. I normally take Alka-Seltzer Plus. And Zicam, too.
Like
yeah,
David.
you're taking some Zicam that has vitamin stuff in it, which is fine.
Know where she grew up. David drank that stuff like it was water.
Alka-Seltzer?
Oh. I could never, ever use it. I think I did it once in my life. Bianca drops Zelina. Got her in a sleeper. She's going to break her back, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca's 3 or 4 times the size of this woman. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Zelina giving her a choke from behind.
Queen Zelina.
Old Zelina getting worked. Little snapmare.
So why are they having
Hurricane
this
Rana.
match?
We don't know.
Oh.
It's just cuz.
They just started just cuz.
Yeah, they're both going to be in the Rumble. It's really for nothing. It's just a match.
Film says, yeah, hopefully my eye better soon. I'm putting some ice on it right now to get the swelling to go away. Pepper.
I'd love to see Zelina ride her over and pin her.
Yeah. Pepper Owens is in the chat, says, I will get that championship belt again with an angry face. And Roberto Lozano's in the chat. Hey, Roberto says, hello. I thought the Royal Rumble was on the 29th.
It is. It's this Saturday, the 29th.
Sophie says Ronda Rousey might return to the WWE.
That's true. She might be at the Rumble, guys.
Ayla says, I love Girl Scout cookies. Those girls need to earn them badly.
Here it is! No. Whoa, landed on her feet. KOD.
So it's like, I don't know how to put another website in the chat. Well, usually you can just copy and paste the URL.
No, I'm glad that they're changing the date. That literally had me stressed out. I was wondering how I was going to have people over and do that and do our show. I figured I'd only miss 2 on the main card because it would end at 11 o'clock and the UFC doesn't end till 1.
Right.
So I would be able to figure it out, but...
Ramit says, according to the online sources, Ruby Soho is upset with Liv Morgan. Filthy activity. She's the new girlfriend of Sonya Deville. Ruby Soho begging to Tony Khan, please sign Liv Morgan for their AEW. It looks like you can't, Sophie. Close live chat and comment in the comment section. Ravi says, spoiler alert, Bianca wins. No way, Ravi, how'd you know? It was like her follow Wrestling Hub on Instagram and PM Travis and delete her directly. Sophie says, this is the comment section. There is no comment section when this channel is live. Matthew says, I didn't like Ronda too much in WWE, but she is good for business. Is she?
She's good.
She ruined the whole women's division.
Yeah, she hurt the women's division bad, right? She set it back at least 2 years. But when she's on TV, she's going to get ratings. So if that helps the women's division, then fine. She makes it very top-heavy, like Dolly Parton. With her, Charlotte, and Becky, it's deep, right? With those 3 at the top.
Is he going to call him his real name? Because he's not Kevin. He's Bert.
Bert. Just keep fighting. That's what I did. So there is a Australian Open over on my other channel, but it's teams, and I don't know anybody on either team, so... I was hoping it was going to be the Nadal match. This was advertised, but maybe that's a little bit later.
Wrestling Inc. or Fightful report the Money in the Bank possible move date. Okay, we'll take a look. Thanks, Sophie, for the info, though.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll hit the Google machine here in a minute.
Robbie's message retracted.
Hey, it's Damian. We got asked about this.
There's Damian Priest, Bryce. Damian Priest is coming out to wrestle against Kevin Owens. So hurry up if you're in there. You better watch. Matthew says, are they doing a female Rumble match too? How long is the event? Yes, they're doing a female Rumble match.
I'm sure it's going to be right around 3 to 3.5 hours with the pre-show matches.
Robbie's like, I don't think Esther could beat Flair one-on-one.
No.
Film says, when you try to wink, the bags under your eye swells when you wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not a sty? Is this the one with the swollen eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have what's called a sty, where it's a teardrop duct. Could be clogged.
He says, on my right eye, it's down where my bags are under my eye. It's right under there on my right eye. So it's like right here.
Right. Yeah, and that could be from that.
It says, it's different than what my grandpa drank. It's for colds, flu. I cheat, though. I dissolve 2 tablets in about an ounce of water, shoot it like a shot, and chug water. Right. I can't do the full 8 ounce of water. Yuck. Because it tastes so gross. I don't know how you guys can... Like that Theraflu Black. I'd rather drink hot lemonade with honey in it than Theraflu.
Well, yeah, that's like one's like candy and one's medicine, of course. I'd rather eat a candy bar than take a...
because I'd rather just take pills of medicine and then drink a hot drink. Sophie says right now Money in the Bank is still scheduled for July 2nd, but that could change depending on when they sell tickets to the show.
Is it the same place or not? That's what matters.
Yeah, if it's in the same arena as what's already there.
I think it's the Barclays Center, isn't it, for the UFC? So I don't know what the WWE's
where the Rumble
is.
was at.
The old Barclays. Somebody is paying attention.
Film says it hurts around 3.4 out of 10. It's not as bad. Robbie says D.I. was taking the Mick course she was going to win. Zelina was never going to win. Oh, yeah.
No.
Matthew is like, I don't see how people don't like to drink water. LOL, it's so weird. Matthew, I work with a girl that doesn't like to drink water. She has to drink flavored waters all the time in order to have water. It's funny.
I'm that way when I get sick. I cannot drink water if I'm sick. I drink water all the time normally, but I cannot drink it if I'm sick.
I get sick and I drink like over a gallon of water because I'm like, I don't want to be sick. So I just drink as much as I can until I die.
Okay, Sunday, July 2nd would be in Las Vegas for Money in the Bank. Now I'm going to go look up
Saturday, you mean?
Whatever you're saying, I don't care.
Well, you said Sunday, so I'm like, isn't that Saturday? It was like, right, Sophie said do it after. Common sense a little goes a long way. Sophie says, I don't know how to copy and paste URL. Matthew says, FTS get some cucumber or witch hazel. Yeah. Or a warm tea bag. Not like the gross tea bagging type of thing.
It is in T-Mobile in Vegas also. So I don't know if Money in the Bank's going to be in T-Mobile Arena, though. Because that's a smaller stadium. Do they sell out big stadiums for that pay-per-view? Money in the Bank? Anybody know? Is Money in the Bank a big stadium match like WrestleMania, or is it just a normal basketball type stadium?
Phelps like Zelina Vega's armpits. Yes, they're all over though. Film, they're done. It was like, I love water, just water. I do not like flavors in water, so I have to drink it fast if I need to. Film's like Bianca too. Yes, and Sophie says the pay-per-view on Saturday could possibly end at midnight. Matthew says drinking straight water is like changing the oil in one's car. Yes, I'm thinking that the pre-show will start at 7 and end after 11.
Depends on what part of the world you're in, but yeah, I mean, if you're talking Eastern, that's what I would predict.
Yep. Sophie says, I think it is the same arena in Vegas. Film says, so my right eye is going to be all right. Rafi's like, hot lemonade with honey sounds sick, like barf sick. Don't knock it till you try it. And it has to be like homemade lemonade. And I'm not talking like the sugary lemonade you get at the fucking store. I'm talking like hot water with like lemon juice in it with a little bit of honey. And it's actually really nice on your throat if you have a sore throat. It says, I love water. I don't like juice or anything really. Maggie says, oh, gross tea bagging. Oh, please elaborate, Misty. So you can take if you make tea and you use a tea bag for your tea, you can take said tea bag and put it on your eyes as a compress, and it's supposed to help them.
So at the T-Mobile, I'm on T-Mobile's website for the arena, and they have the USC 276 July 2nd, 2022. So it's officially on theirs. So WWE might just be doing it somewhere else, and there is quite a few venues in Las Vegas. But if they're feeling brave, they can fill up where the Raiders play.
Who says there are people out there who hates to drink water for whatever reason. It is like hot lemon water with honey is pretty good. Yeah, especially if you have like a sore throat. Matthew says Money in the Bank is usually a regular civic center.
Yeah.
And Janelle Jackson's in the chat. Hey, Janelle says
Janelle.
WWE is going back and forth seeing if they should have Ronda Rousey return in the Royal Rumble.
Why not? She's never been in the Rumble match before. If they're going to do it, why not? It sets her up for Becky if they want to go that route. And Becky didn't really pin her. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
in that triple threat they did. Although, is she ready to headline, one of the nights of WrestleMania with Becky by herself? That's a big match. And she doesn't have that kind of experience. All right, Kevin Owens went for a stunner right out of the gate. Damian Priest getting chopped, but Kevin Owens obviously has the more experience here, but Damian Priest has the power advantage, maybe even the speed advantage.
I got invited to a party.
Is it a gangster party?
Hope so. Ryan says WWE might go for a smaller venue because of ticket sales being tiny. Sophie says, but WWE don't want to run their pay-per-view against the UFC, though.
Wait, how do you know? Allegiant Stadium, guys. Allegiant Stadium, I'm not sure which one that is, but I'm pretty sure that's where the Raiders play. That's a big stadium, I believe. I'm going to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a match going on.
Yes.
Kevin Owens in there with Damian Priest.
He's got
Damian Priest getting a mud hole stomped in him in the corner.
He's taking it to him like he likes him a lot.
What's Kevin going to do here? Cannonball! No! Runs right into a choke slam. No, Kevin behind him. Oh, that would have been sick if he had hit him with a stunner right there. There's that big boot. Now, Kevin Owens won this last week, fair and square, but he cheated a little bit, but fairly.
And this is for the U.S. title, guys, so this is for supposedly maybe a title change. Who knows? Anyways, Film says, but I'll keep you updated on my right eye and see what happens. I'm sure it's going to feel better. Illa says, I was just at that arena, if it's the T-Mobile Arena, the gold building.
The T-Mobile one is where the hockey team plays.
It looks like, Matthew, get one of your guy friends to teabag your eye. That's not what I mean. Gross. Rob is like, oh, why didn't you differentiate the difference? LOL. Ugh. Matthew says, Allegiant Stadium is a domed stadium located in Paradise, Nevada, United States. 65,000 seats.
Right.
You're a commercial now, so you're good. Film says, is
I am looking
the beautiful
it up.
armpit goddess going to be on TV but not wrestling? I don't know if she's going to be around. As you say, you love your armpit goddess, aka Bliss. Wrestling nickname for her. Oh, yes. And Matthew says, Ayla, you have disturbing fantasies. Robbie says, I'm only watching this match for KO'd F. Damian Priest. What a knob. Ayla's like, just trying to help you, bud. Sophie's like, if Ronda coming back, that opens the door for Lacey Evans to come back as well, and there has been no news on her for a long time. And Matthew says, hello, yeah, I'm sure of that. Ayla's like, Ayla, and Robbie says, Ayla, geez, fam. Sophie says, on Saturday, July 2nd, fans of both WWE and UFC have to choose which pay-per-view they want to watch on that night.
So the Super Bowl is going to be in Allegiant Stadium in 2024. That's pretty cool. But there is nothing in their website about WWE going to be there. So WWE can change their mind, because it doesn't look like they have anything booked that weekend.
It's like, yeah, the hockey is played there, so was the band I saw there on Saturday.
Yeah, Bad Bunny's going there in March, it looks like. Metallica and Billy Joel is going to headline Allegiant Stadiums in Las Vegas on February 25th and 26th.
Wow.
So, what the fuck? That's the weirdest concert I've ever heard of in my life.
Metallica and Billy Joel?
Yeah.
That is a weird combo.
Oh, they're back-to-back nights. Metallica's on Friday and Billy Joe's on Saturday. Billy Joe's headlining it.
That's funny.
Red Hot Chili Peppers are still around, huh? They're going to be there on October 7th.
Ouch.
Nope.
just a demon. Take the crazy down and maybe we can have some fun. Oh my god, that looks kind of funny actually.
What was it called?
I don't know. It says it says, I mean, you drink the tea, lay down, relax, have your friend drop the tea bag on your eye, up and down, up and down. What's the point of this KO Priest feud? I don't know, because he really wants a title. Sophie says they usually announce ticket sales like a couple months before pay-per-views or TV series.
Right. So get this, guys. They named where Allegiant Stadium is in Las Vegas Al Davis Way. That is freaking hilarious. So Al Davis was their owner, but he died. So in order for them to, when they were still in Oakland, so in order for them to get that stadium, they probably said, okay, we'll name it after your dad because the son owns it now. Like, okay. We'll move to Vegas. As long as we're on Al Davis Way. 1, 2, and Kevin Owens just gets his shoulder up.
Kind of funny.
Damian Priest rocking him like a hurricane. Rock you like a hurricane.
Boom says it is the Academy. Is the Academy going to wrestle? I don't know. Maybe.
The Alpha Academy? No. They're going to do an IQ challenge tonight, guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sophie says they did announce Mania for Vegas in 2024. And Robbie's like, Ayla with a dirty mind. And Sophie says the WWE announced WrestleMania week stuff, including next pay-per-view. Stand to deliver on the Hall of Games. There is no dates confirmed for them, though. Or the Hall of Fames, maybe.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff that week. They're doing an old-fashioned week, though, it looks like. The build-up to it. So I don't know if the Raw before or the Raw after WrestleMania is going to be there. That's when I wasn't sure. I couldn't understand what they were saying. Because they made it sound like it's going to be all week. But does that mean they're starting it on Monday with Raw? Or are they ending it on Monday with Raw? Because I feel like that would be a shorter, more compact. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All in one city.
Right, yeah. Did you say Monday also?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
But if they do Monday and then a week of stuff, they're still going to be in town. And then Friday, and maybe they could even do something with NXT's pay-per-view. Because I know they want to take NXT's next pay-per-view on the road. And I'm not sure how many tickets they can sell, but they should be able to put a couple major stars on the card or something and sell it. Right? Like to sell some tickets?
Yeah, I don't see why they couldn't. But
put Charlotte down there.
I didn't think that they were going to be doing the NXT on the road at all anymore. I thought they were just having that at the Performance Center.
Right. This is a pay-per-view.
Oh.
So they're going to put their pay-per-view on the road to see how many tickets they can sell, I guess. It's probably just a big test.
For NXT?
NXT, yeah, their next pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know when it is. I just know it's going to be on the road. It may be the first time they've ever taken it on the road. I'm not 100% sure on that. Their pay-per-views.
Right, yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know.
But I could be wrong.
Matthew says, Ayla, funny. I think I can fulfill your fantasy. You can still make me some eclairs, though. It looks like Ravi with a height that proves he's never seen a lady in her birthday suit.
Oh, shit.
69
Big
to
clothesline.
68 days till WrestleMania. So excited.
68.
Robbie says, Ayla, who says I haven't?
You got 68 days till day one and what? 67 days till day two. It's coming, guys.
Film's like, what IQ test in WWE?
They're doing an IQ test tonight. The Alpha Academy IQ test.
Yeah.
It's going to be the RK Bros against the Alpha Academy in an IQ contest.
It's because Alpha Academy came out last week in graduation robes and stuff. And then Chad Gable had to make a comment about Riddle's smarts.
Oh, disqualification. Damian just got disqualified.
But he keeps his title.
Well, of
so
course.
It doesn't matter.
Kevin Owens has beat Damian 2 weeks in a row now.
But now he got screwed out of a title. But he still got screwed out of the title. That
Right.
sucks.
Yeah, or oops, circled the wrong guy.
Ayla's like, just making a strong and confident guess. So it's like July 3rd as a backup date for Money in the Bank in case they do change the date of the pay-per-view because of the UFC pay-per-view on the same night.
I sure hope they get the smarts and just change it.
So it's like the go-home show for the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view will be pre-taped. They will tape that SmackDown a week before it.
Yes, on the Friday before. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And that way they can get to Saudi Arabia a little bit early.
Yeah, because you want to get there early. Remy says, Liv
Whatever.
Morgan
I want to
is-
get off the airport, get in a limo, go right to the event, get off, go back on the limo, get on a plane. And
You're
leave.
like, what do you call that stuff? Jet lag to the point you don't even know your own name.
Right. Woo! Almost a superhero. Kicking everybody's ass. She's on fire in Flego. Just kidding. She still sucks.
Remy said Liv Morgan is unfaithful to Ruby Soho is upset. I think Ruby Soho committed some wrong move. Yeah. Matthew's like, relationships and showbiz don't mix. Sophie says the Hall of Fame might happen on that Wednesday or Thursday, and the NXT pay-per-view will happen at some point that week.
The Hall of Pain.
Pepper Owens says, damn you, Damian. It's every woman for herself. Hasn't always been that way.
Well, she has no allies now. Now she doesn't have that dead weight with her.
True. No dead weight. I think you're crazy.
I feel like she's like some cheerleader doing a yearbook interview.
I think her eyes are crossed. What's wrong with them?
Dana, you don't have a shot.
There's the next one that doesn't have a shot.
Oh Lord, come on. She's trying to tell us that she's some sort of relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're pretty.
Did she really make that face?
Yeah, she did.
Not surprising.
And the noise.
God, she's so annoying.
Rhea Ripley coming down to the ring. Is she going with Liv? That would be a great match. She got long ass legs. All sorts of meat on them. But not in a bad way. You know what I mean?
Nope. She doesn't skip leg day.
She thick. Who wants to be in Australia right now? I mean, besides all the political prisoners and all that.
No,
I'm talking about just the weather. It's like 103 degrees
No,
in
thank you.
Melbourne.
So, so are they going to let that one male tennis
Djokovic?
player
I don't know if
play?
Djokovic is in it or not. I think he got deported. But
Well, they were fighting it, but they had it's weird. They had like an impromptu hearing about it that Sunday. And it's like, who the fuck works on a Sunday?
all they need is one judge. And tennis players are wealthy, and it's a wealthy man's game.
Right?
Like, it's the only sport I've ever watched in my life where they advertise Rolexes. Like, they have
That's
Rolex
true, huh?
commercials. Like,
That is
what
true.
other sporting event do you watch where they advertise Rolexes?
Anyways, there's a women's match on, and Keys is the American, and then Krejcikova
Right.
is the other one.
Right.
I don't know where she's from, though. I don't know that
Probably
flag.
a Russian something. It's the red, white, and blue of Russia. I don't know if it's Russian, but it could
It's
be
one
Czech.
of those Russian ones.
All Americans are asked to leave.
Australia?
No, what's that country?
Ukraine?
Yeah, Ukraine. All of them were asked to leave the country.
Who asked them?
The Russians. They put out, it's on the news there, it's everywhere. Like, so if you're an American, you're in the country, you're to get out.
Because they're going to invade it?
Mm-hmm. And they want no Americans in there.
Yeah, because they don't want a war.
Our president's not going to go to war.
No, he's too fucking stupid.
They're talking about sending some troops there, but I don't know if that's what he wants or if that's just what the generals want.
Matthew says, also from personal experience with lesbian best friends, the community has a lot of drama.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't know Liv was swung that way.
She's bi.
Or the other one, Ruby.
Mm-hmm. Robin says, hello, Rhea is mug. Nikki is way better at wrestler. Oh, yeah?
Nikki ASH.
Bryce says, wait, WWE is doing an IQ test. Alpha Academy is doing the WWE IQ test.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. WC Game Bros in the chat says, my favorite wrestlers, text Rowan. Seth Rollins. My favorite wrestler is Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins. Good
Robbie
deal.
says,
I like
Dana
Seth.
Crook reading the cue cards, LOL. Sophie
Poor
says,
girl.
I don't know why it took them this long to decide to tape a SmackDown before Saudi Arabia, so the SmackDown wrestlers will have a lot of time off instead.
Well, right, but usually SmackDown's after it. And so it's hard to predict.
Yeah, but now it's on a Saturday.
Right, so now it's before it, so they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do a show after a taping because you don't know how it's going to end in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Bryce says, why do they want to take an IQ test? Kind of odd. It was a feud between Riddle and Randy Orton and Alpha Academy. Chad Gable said something about that Riddle wasn't very smart, that Otis was way smarter than him, and so they wanted to have a test.
Yeah, they're going to do an IQ test. Randy's involved also. Otis had some fear in his face, though.
He did. Ramit says, I think this Wednesday night Tony Khan dream signings are Briscoes and Jeff Hardy. Bryce says, who's going to challenge the United States champion, Damian Priest? Well, Kevin Owens just did.
I think it's going to be Kevin Owens and Damian at the pay-per-view.
Supposedly almost won, but got disqualified. Damian Priest got a DQ, so Kevin Owens won, but didn't win the title.
Right. 2 weeks in a row he's won. Last week he pinned him, though.
Ayla says, it's summer in Australia. You want to go in June or August? Probably. Film says Rhea Ripley's armpits. Yeah, Sophie says, I'm surprised that Saudi Arabia is allowing the WWE pay-per-view on a weekend this time instead of the normal weekday and that they are used to doing since their Saudi Arabia deal.
Dana Brooke.
Matthew says, shit, I'm pissed because it looks like the government is going to hide their failed economy with another war. History repeats.
It's par for the course.
Film says
That's
yes.
a war we don't need, though. Here comes Liv. So what is this? Triple threat? What do we got? What's going on?
Maybe here. Maze Film says, yes, I love Rhea Ripley's armpits. And Robbie says, Ayla, how do you know it's not good to go at this time of the year? And Film says, let's go Rhea Ripley. And Ayla says, because it's summer in Australia, it's hot. And Sophie says the WWE offered the Iconics to appear in the Rumble and they turned them down.
I heard that.
And Matthew says, Obama let Putin take back Kyiv and Biden is letting Putin get Ukraine. He already gave Afghanistan to China. I quit. Robbie's like, yeah, and summer is the best time to go, Ayla.
Sonia's yelling at him in the back. He's being reprimanded.
Who reprimanded?
Oh, they're a team, the three of them?
I guess. Weird.
Liv's all shaking her boobs now. She's turned into a tramp. Whatever works, right?
I guess that's what we're supposed to do.
Mela is money.
Sounds like after Ramit says Serena Deeb mentioned their big blog's new major signings for their AW Women's Division roster. It will be Ty Valkyrie and Ember Moon. Oh yeah? That's cool. Film says, let's go Rhea Ripley. And Ayla says, Robbie, you'd want to go during their winter months. It's Australia. It's technically summer all year. Robbie's like, F Rhea. Hope she gets beat up. Matthew says, wrestling fact. WCW had a habit to spoil WWE matches. This one night that backfired. 600,000 people changed their channel to watch Manning beat The Rock and become champion.
Who's Manning?
I don't think he meant Manning. but I don't know who else he could have meant. Robbie says, I know Ayla. I've been twice. And Matthew says, Australians are some rad people. I met Dundee while in Hawaii. Donnie while in Hawaii.
Oh, and Nikki ASH
Oh.
is the third one. That's not a bad team.
Of their weird little group.
So is Carmella healthy again? Because they were worried about her. She had a injury.
Huh.
They were using her in tag team matches, but she wasn't in the match.
Right. Film says, yes. Dana Brooke, too. Yes, they're really getting some good women's matches. And Matthew's like, some. Yep.
Hey, they're putting all the women on tonight, though, guys. If you guys are into the women.
Oh, you met some Australians while in Hawaii. I'm like, what? What are you trying to fix? All right.
With a face like this, who would want to throw me out?
Ayla says, Ravi, I don't doubt that. I'm just saying summer in Australia is just hot, hot, dry equals fires. Ravi says Rhea couldn't beat Bayley one-on-one or beat anything close to her.
All right, we'll find out. I'm sure Bayley's coming back eventually.
So it says Saturday is kind of a full card with the 2 championship matches and the 2 Rumble matches. Matthew says, what are the championship matches?
Both of the male big belts. We got the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship.
Rob McLaren's in the chat.
Hey Rob
says, what up, Wrestling Gab? How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Good. Watching Monday Night Raw.
You were going to ask him something when he came in the chat.
I forgot what I wanted.
Okay. Film says Liv Morgan too. Yes, and Carmella's coming out right on. Robbie says, Ayla, are you not good in the heat? And Matthew says, Mankind. Oh, Mankind.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense. I was like, who? Manning.
Yeah, so, in the old days, they recorded their shit. WWE.
Oh, yeah.
They recorded everything. And so WCW, when they went live, they already knew the results. And so they just tell them the whole schedule and every match and who won. That way you didn't have to watch it. But I could see how it could backfire because people still want to see it. Like, oh, so how did Mankind win?
Right.
Anyways, in the corner, Rhea Ripley just took out Carmella. This is what we're talking about. Now, is Carmella actually going to get in the ring? Because supposedly she's nursing an injury.
So he says, what are the chances that they will hold a Raw or SmackDown episode in Saudi Arabia in the future?
None.
Ayla says, Ravi, you sound like Sophie.
The world's greatest Raw.
Matthew's like, oh, fuck, I can't type.
That'd be funny. The world's greatest Raw.
Chris says Liv and Dana. Sophie says Mela also had COVID. Films like Nikki ASH's armpits. Yes. Oh, her super armpit hero. Yay.
Robbie's lots of armpit talk going on.
Ayla, how very dare you call me that? Ha ha ha.
Kicks out. Oh, Carmella goes in there and breaks it up. And then super kicks her right in the face.
Chris says Nikki is hot with her sexy superhero promo.
Yeah.
Sure, Chris.
She can't be a superhero anymore. She's a heel.
Oh, she's mean to people.
She's got to be an
She's a super villain.
Yeah, she's the villain. Here, Carmella. I could talk. Yeah, something out of a horror film. What'd you call her? You heard me. Byron Saxton has now officially said one thing funny. She's gonna tap. She got to tap now. There it is. Carmella taps out.
Wow.
Rhea, Dana, Liv with the dub.
Yeah, all thanks to Rhea. I don't think the other two did much.
I'm pretty sure that Liv wasn't even in there. She didn't even get a sweat.
Not surprising.
Now somebody needs to pin her and get the belt.
Never split Rhea and Nikki. I like them as a tag team, and they were both sexy. Matthew says Victoria Ivory and Molly Holly were some of the best female wrestlers in the business.
Ivory was up there, wasn't she? I like Miss Jackie, too.
Sophie says, and we also got Becky versus Doudrop, which for some reason I forgot about.
Yeah, Becky and Doudrop.
Oh, yeah.
No Charlotte, though. No Charlotte match.
For the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Oh. Matthew says,
she's going to be in the Rumble.
Seriously, though, Ronda can't beat Rhea. In fact, Rhea should be more of a monster than she is. Matthew says, it would be awesome to see an event where not a single super kick takes place.
Right? No more thrust kicks.
And as Ravi says, what an ish match. Right? Like, very blah.
See, here's last Monday. Here's the IQ test set up.
Chris says short match, and Matthew says Becky needs to go.
Yeah, they had to put all the women in one match, or they've had 2 women's matches now, and then get it over with. Look at his face.
He's like, what the fuck? Like Billy Madison?
Exactly like Billy Madison. Because of that answer, we're all stupider. I love Billy Madison. Did Chad just fall down? Like passed out because they accepted it?
Randy came in and gave him an RKO out of nowhere, remember? So he was all like, oh, he got me.
IQ challenge up next. 4-point Otis.
Oh, God.
He's got a 4-point Otis.
So if it says Raw in the old days used to be taped one week and live the next week like AEW did when the pandemic first started. Robbie says this Raw is becoming very predictable. And Film says, yo, let's go. Team Rhea Ripley wins.
Yeah, anytime there's a go-home show, it's going to be a little predictable because they got to fit in all the riff-raff. I'm assuming there's going to be a tag team match here. Maybe not tonight, but at the pay-per-view. If not, next Monday.
Right.
Matthew says see if they can't get their belts back.
Right, yeah. Matthew says everything is becoming too safe. Too safe, too safe.
Yeah, once virtual reality comes, it's going to be super, super safe. There are going to be people that literally just hook themselves up to a machine and live in a different world.
That's dumb.
And a lot of people are like, oh, there's no way. But if you watch anybody that played Fortnite, how crazy they were for it, it's that kind of a thing.
But the thing of it is, though, is it's old now. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like,
Exactly.
You don't hear them talk about Fortnite anymore. It's
I'm just
boring
saying
and
it's
stupid.
the next thing. So these guys are going to go into these worlds. And right now, the dopamine response from clicking on TikTok or any of the Snapchats or any of the other fast-moving apps that you get, it's very small, but people still do it. They're really addicted to it. When they go into virtual reality, it's going to be huge dopamine doses. So when they're not in that world, their world is going to be shit. Like, they won't know how to be happy in real life. So they're not going to want to be in real life. And right now, it sounds absurd, and especially if you're older than, like, 35, it sounds absurd, but I'm talking about babies that are going to be using this stuff when they're 4, 5, because people are going to let them. You know what's funny is these tech companies that are building it, they don't let their kids use that shit.
That's the point. Like, why would you?
It's going to cripple a nation, but that's the whole point of it, isn't it? To cripple it. And that's where the barbarians come in, because the barbarians will just attack, which means that anybody outside of the United States could be Mexico would take us over, basically.
Let's see. Sophie says, if Charlotte is a fighting champion, she should defend her championship in the Rumble match like Roman did 6 years ago.
I kind of remember that.
Robbie says, "Hello, this a go home show?" Laughing, Travis, you joker.
It's a go home show.
It is.
There's a giant pay-per-view this Saturday.
Feels like there are only 2 women's matches, really. They need to, like, add a third or fourth one to make things better. Sophie says, today marks 6 years since AJ Styles debuted in the Rumble match on the WWE. And Chris says, I'm going to spell it out for you. LOL. What if Enzo and Big Cass came out in this spelling bee with RK Bro and Alpha Academy?
I don't think so, but that would be great.
Fib says, but yeah, at least you added a long female tag team match. Appreciate that. It wasn't very long, but yeah.
We get Maurice later on too. It's a little
Matthew
eye candy.
says the next leap in porn tech is uploading a star into a sex robot. The new fans only crap.
You know, you're right. I would like to argue somehow, but with the Japanese robots and the Chinese robots that are coming out, it's not going to be long until it is your favorite porn star.
Right. Films like since Nikki ASH is no longer a hero and she done with Rhea Ripley, will she change her wrestling attire into supervillain? I don't think so, but...
Like the Green Goblin type. Like a weird face.
Right? Sophie says when AJ Styles came to the WWE, it shook up and surprised every fan out there.
Loved it.
Oh, he's going to host it? Oh, Bert. Bert's hosting.
Bert hosting.
Eat my cheesecake now. Aww.
The mindless morons of Ohio. Sheesh. It's a triad.
Oh.
The next 3 weeks. This is going to be going on for 3 weeks, guys. Is that Robert Downey Jr.? Shoosh. Right? From Weird Science?
Yeah, he does say that, I think.
Shoosh.
Maybe. Matthew says, people are already plugged into the tech. Once the tech becomes more advanced and we fully immerse ourselves into the digital realm, the socialist state will be in full control.
Won't be long. But
Bobby says, doesn't feel like a go-home show. Parts of it.
it's 3 hours, and I don't even think we're an hour in, so I think it's okay.
Film says,
There's
I hope
plenty of time.
Nikki ASH becomes a sexy supervillain. It'll make her character even more exciting. Let's go. Sophie says, AJ Styles did turn down a contract offer from AEW.
Right. They couldn't really talk to him, and they couldn't give him real offers, but there's no way Vince would have underpaid, so he's going to stay.
Mm-hmm.
He only has so much money, you know, Tony Khan.
True.
I guess Dad's just going to let him write checks, you know, nonstop. That's why, and if you guys haven't noticed, they're letting people go. Their contracts expire, but they're not going to tell you whose contracts expired. Like WWE announces it because they don't want that negative publicity. But Leo Rush and a few other superstars have their contracts have expired, or they are really quickly. Brian Cage.
Chris says, remember the eye candy, Shayna Baszler?
Yeah, she's... Holy shit. Where's Shayna Baszler at? I was going to say she's on SmackDown, but I haven't seen her on SmackDown even for a long time.
Haven't seen her for a while.
Maybe she's working with old Ronda and they can come back as a tag team.
Matthew says, top 3 tag teams. Film says, I hate big tech in my honest opinion. Sophie says, why I get the feeling that Gable Steveson will somehow be involved with this Alpha Academy storyline at some point.
Maybe. I figured they'd push him more at a world title, but that would be a good place for him. It looks like Gable can talk pretty good.
Film that says Charlotte Flair in the Royal Rumble. Thumbs up. Matthew says Dudley's, APA, and Kai and Ty, no particular order. Sophie says, so this feud will continue to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view since the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view takes place 3 weeks after the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they'll set up quite a few matches and during the Rumble. It'll tease.
Matthew says, big tech is censoring the hell out of us. I've lost so many accounts over the last several months. Matthew says, Ronda and Baszler would be a good team.
Yeah, oh,
Would
absolutely.
be a great team, sorry. And Bryce says, okay, Wrestling Gab, I gotta go. Bye, guys. See you in the next live stream for Wednesday. If not, I might show up on Friday. Bye.
All right, see you, boss.
Bye, Bryce. Thanks for hanging with us. Have a good rest of your night.
So this is a 3-week event, guys.
Why are they wearing numbers? Like they're 1, 2, and then they're 3, 4. I don't understand why they have...
Why they're numbered?
Yeah, why they have numbers on them.
Because they have to have some way to label them.
Why do they have to be labeled?
Because it's an IQ test.
So I have to sit down and then...
I have no idea what these competitions are. There's 3 of them. 3 weeks.
This is weird.
It's a spelling bee. The first event is a spelling bee.
Oh, and tonight's winner is going to choose the challenge next week. Oh, God.
Poor Otis. It. IT. Emmental.
Can you use that in a sentence?
You're like a little Indian kid. Did he say AL at the end there? Sounded like he just said LOL.
It's because it was cheese. So if it has to do with food, he's going to get it.
Oh, shit. That's funny. All right, riddles first for the RK Bros. Let's see how he spells. Calibration.
Calibration.
What the? No. It's like caliber and then Asian. Oh, shit.
So dumb. So he says, so pretty soon AEW fully bloated roster won't feel like it with some AEW contracts expiring soon. Exactly.
Yeah, all their guys are going to go away and they're going to have all NXT guys.
Yep. Bryce says, no, I mean to say Wrestling Gap, not Gap. You know what I meant. I hate autocorrect. Okay, I'm now gone. You're fine. I knew what you meant. Matthew's like, oh, we substituted wrestling for game shows.
Dissolution.
Sophie's like, so this 3-week event will be like the Olympics?
Yes, basically.
Except for you only see it once per 3 weeks. Like once a week.
You don't need the definition, homie.
Matthew says, I feel you autocorrect kills me. Misty, what you snacking on? I'm having cheesecake.
Disillusion.
I ate my dinner and now I'm having my dessert. So it's
he got it wrong.
You said the word wrong.
Yeah, they got an Englishman up there.
He doesn't speak Irish.
Take your seat, son. All right, it's Randy's time. Oh, shit. How is that misspelled?
They forget the extra B. So they just spell it D-U-M-B-E-L-L.
I spell it all the time because I'm always writing my workouts out.
D-U-M-B-B.
Genius! Genius!
Go,
Genius!
Randy. Sophie says it'll be interesting on how we get the Randy Orton Matt Riddle split from this feud and storyline. Film says, is Bliss on TV yet? No.
No.
Chris says Riddle Wayne.
Probably third hour.
Grams, baby. Right? Yes.
Shut him up.
For him. Sophie says, I wonder how Oda's former tag partner Tucker feels right now. I don't know. Film says, come on, my beautiful Armageddon. Give us an update on your return to the ring at the Rumble at WrestleMania. Unintelligent man. Let me spell it out for you.
RKO. That's happening. We're going to get a one-on-one match.
Chris says maybe Gable will be the poster boy for NXT 4.0. Jacobs, Hajin's in the chat. Hey, Jacob says, I am not going to Rumble. Oh, I'm sorry. Matthew says, I like cheesecake, but just a small slice once in a while.
Right.
Sophie says, don't the Olympics run 3 weeks?
They do. They go from the 3rd all the way through the 20th.
As Matthew says, just under 3 weeks. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Sophie, about that is that it can't be like the Olympics because it's only once a week. Where the Olympics are on every day for 3 weeks.
Fact.
That's the difference. That's the difference I was talking about. As Matthew says, just under. And Walter's in the chat for a minute says, good Raw tonight, LOL. Randy Orton for the win. Yeah, I think he's going to beat Chad's butt. Film says, ha ha ha, Randy Orton, LOL. Ramit says, I think Liv Morgan filthy activities spoiled Ruby Soho happy life. Oh. Because she has animals? Chris says, Randy is wasting his time. He's a freaking legend. 14-time champ, Randy said, let me spell it out for you. Film says, I'll wait patiently for my bliss. Walter says, funny word spelling.
Dumbbell. Old dumbbells.
Oh, dumbbells.
Is that Nadal?
Yeah, Nadal and Shapovalov.
Look, they have 8 or 9 people in attendance.
Good for them. They're the only people they allowed out of their lockdown.
That boy good. That boy good.
This is tennis. So it says, Randy as a face still seems weird to me. He turns more like the Big Show and Mark Henry did.
Yeah, but he's not as big and oafy as those guys were
You
at
know,
the end of
and
their
I
career.
don't think Randy Orton's really a good guy. Like, he's kind of a dick. So, he's not really a face. He's just kind of an ass. But
It works.
Matthew says, don't the Olympics actually run 24 hours a day? Like,
No.
not really, but pretty. But there's something on all the time, though, right?
No.
I mean,
like,
they
have
you
replays,
could turn it on
but...
and watch it at whatever time in the morning because that's what time it is there
Right.
is when it would be.
Yeah, but like when you're the host country and it's like, you know, what, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or midnight or whatever, the athletes are home sleeping.
Walter says, I can stay for 20 minutes, but on Wednesday, 8 p.m., I can stay longer. Sweet. And Walter says, share some cake, Letha. Sure, you want some cheesecake?
Share it.
I'll share it. I'm trying to get it eaten up so it's not wasted. I'm almost done. Got
Or
one more
there's
piece
a
left.
giant thing in the fridge.
That's because I gave, so I took 2 pieces out. I had one and gave one to Danny. And then half of what was left, I put in a thing for him to take home. And then I kept the other half. And then I had a piece yesterday and a piece now. And there's only that size of piece left.
Nice.
What I have.
Yep.
So it'll be gone. Film says, why can't Ruby Soho go back to the WWE? I mean, you're welcome to come back if you want to be with Liv so bad. So he says, if you were a football and an Olympic fan, Sunday, February 13th, they will be back to back.
Well, they'll be on at the same time.
And if you want to go watch UFC, that's on the day before.
That Saturday.
So you have UFC pay-per-view
On the 12th.
You have Olympics. You have, then the next day you have Super Bowl and Olympics. It's like every
just hoping
sports
nothing.
watching person's dream that weekend.
Well, unless they're having main events during those fights.
Yes, that's lame. But sports in the sense that there's all kinds of sports on.
Yep.
Boom says Ruby so want to Liv Morgan so bad. And Sophie says the Olympics is kind of weird with the time zones from wherever you are. Matthew says WWE had 5K at one of their last shows. Apparently this new case of sprinkles is something else. Still a humbug, and the Olympics are in China. The conspiracy.
Yeah, it's all fine, though. This new one doesn't hurt. And
this new one is nothing.
It's highly attractable, but it is not... It's just, you're just going to get it, and then you get some sort of a super immunity. That's what the CDC said, supposedly. So once you get it, you can't get anything else. It's sounding like their studies are saying. That's what I read on their CDC site, which I don't usually get on there, but everybody in my town is sick from it.
Technically, that's because they all got vaccines. If you have already had unicorn sprinkles, you cannot get it again no matter what variant it is.
At least that's what was on Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Supposedly. Well, that's true or not, I don't know. But people who get the vaccine can't get it. Riddle me that.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me that one.
Riddle me that.
Every single person I know that's sick has had the fucking vaccine. Fucking weird. That's weird. Just throwing out there on the weirdness. Anyways, they are having that match now.
Yeah, Randy and Chad.
Chad Gable and old Randy out there.
Old Chad. Chad's tiny. He's as big as Randy is on his knees. Who are these people? Why do I keep getting messages?
Gatekeeper. He wants to invite you to a party.
Bait keeper?
Gate.
Oh. Ew.
Film says F China USA is better than China. I love America.
Merca!
Matthew says never get into a relationship with a chick who shaves any part of her hair. Like on her head? Are you talking about head hair?
Are you talking about the runway?
Are you talking about all hair on body? Walter says, come on, Randy, win the match. And Matthew says Vince and Dana White are friends, right? Jerry,
No idea.
along at least. Maybe that explains the time.
I mean, they're both Republicans, if that's anything, but...
Film says, RK Bro, and Walter says, is there Royal Rumble prediction coming up?
Yeah, we'll have to do it sometime this week or on Saturday.
Sophie says, no, the Olympics will be on after the Super Bowl. And Film says, let's go, RK Bro. Matthew says, I have boinked Strange Ladies and survived. I'll take my chances with the sprinkles.
Right? Jaffil.
You haven't had the STDs.
They have shots. Chlamydia is pretty common. You just don't want the gonorrhea.
Herpes.
Oh, that one, but...
HIV. Syphilis.
You don't get HIV from women.
I never said that he was just going to be with women.
I thought he said women.
He said strange ladies.
Oh, okay.
That's only what he's telling you. So he's like, and also thanks to Olympics, Raw will be on the Sci-Fi Network for 2 weeks because the Olympics will be on the USA Network. Matthew says, US. Matthew says, head hair. Yeah. And Pickles in the chat says, what's going on?
Hey, Piccola.
Eating cheesecake, watching some wrestling.
A little bit of tennis from Keys.
It's a good combo. Luke says,
Chad
hi
Gable
all.
pops up. There's
Hey,
Luke.
Luke. And
Hello.
Sophie says, Randy Orton is the veteran of this company. He has been there for 20 years. He have seen a lot of legends and superstars come and go.
Yeah, he's definitely the guy, right? The legend. I'm sure he'll break the championship title reign of Flair one day and Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's watered down. John Cena's is watered down. Randy's is watered down. But it is what it is.
Sounds like RK Bro. Walter's like Miz and Maurice will celebrate tonight.
Yes, the largest birthday party ever for his beautiful bride.
Pickle's like, well, I jumped into an interesting topic. Didn't you, though?
I don't even know what our topic was.
We were talking about unicorn sprinkles for a
Oh.
minute there, and then we moved on to something else. Walter's like, hey, Luke, and Luke says hi. And Pickle says, lucky I never did pursue my dream of being a truck driver. Actually, you'd probably be making bank
There's
right now
so
if you
much
had
money to be made.
made your dream of being a truck driver. Because you probably would be making way more than what you would normally make right now.
I have a buddy that does it, but with just a truck, like a big truck, like a 1.5 ton pickup. And he makes pretty good money.
Sophie's like, doesn't Dee have any meals at work? I did. I had lunch. And then I had to work until dinner time. And so by the time I got home, I had to eat some food. So you guys get to suffer through my eating.
Chad Gable just got slammed right into the table. Mm-hmm. Table looked like it was supposed to blow up, but it did not. Randy throws Gable into the ring. Randy follows him up in there.
Because lot lizards are a thing.
Oh, shit.
That doesn't mean you have to go after them. Just because they're there doesn't mean anything, you weirdo. Matthew says, I never had any STDs unless I got them all and they neutralized my body and I've become immune.
Right, like Typhoid Mary. You got a natural immunity to it.
Walter's like, Costco has good desserts. That's where I got my cheesecake from, was Costco. It was a big old Costco cheesecake. Film says, I don't trust a vaccine in my honest opinion because, I'm an autistic person. Okay, so, honey,
Who's autistic?
Vaccines do not cause autism. That's scientific proof that they don't. Okay?
We don't know what they do.
And vaccines...
To babies, to the reproductive system. We don't know yet. There's no way to know.
Right, but it doesn't have anything to do with autism. They've done studies upon scientific studies with it, and They have no proof. There's no proof that getting vaccinated causes autism.
Are you talking about just any vaccine?
Any vaccine, it doesn't matter. Any vaccine, they're not... Any vaccine, doesn't matter. Anyways, there are vaccinations that are very, very good to get. Very good.
Yeah, like polio would be nice.
Measles, mumps, rubella. Those kind of vaccines are the
Typhoid.
vaccines that you want to get.
I don't know if they do typhoid.
There's just a difference of getting vaccines like that than getting other types of vaccines.
If humans were not filthy animals and washed their hands more often, there probably wouldn't be so many gross diseases out there in the first place.
Yes, because that's what it is.
That's where typhoid came from. People go wipe their butt and then prepare food and then give people typhoid. That's disgusting.
Yes. Okay, and that was back when they had the plague and shit happening.
No. This is in the 1900s.
Yes, people were still filthy gross.
Yeah. They find that, it was hard to just have babies for women. You know why? Because the doctors didn't wash their hands and the babies would die. But they didn't know what it was from. Wash your fucking hands, people. Like, how is that a big deal?
They didn't think that was a big deal for a long time, even in the Civil War.
Well, that was after, but yeah. I'm talking about babies being born in the 1900s were dying because the doctors weren't washing their hands.
Yeah, but they should have known better because that kind of shit was happening during the Civil War.
They had doctors that were so fast at amputations that they could amputate a whole leg in 4 minutes. That's with a saw and everything. Mm-hmm. They tie off the freaking artery, and then saw the leg off.
Matthew says truck drivers can easily make $100K a year. And Film says, let's go Bliss. And Sophie says this is the week where the WWE should start putting together Mania matches.
Yes, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of things happening over the next... That's why I like this time of the year, the road to WrestleMania.
Piccola. When does it matter when she eats or not? That's rude. A lot of people would think it was very rude that I'm eating in front of a camera, I guess.
I was raised to not eat in front of people, so it's hard for me to eat on camera, but...
I just feel like if you're hungry, you'll have food. I can't give it to you through a camera. Phil's like, not going to lie, cheesecake is so good. I also like red velvet cake, too. Walter's like, good batches on Raw. And Piccolo says, I wanted to get a variety cheesecake tin from Sam's. You know what? They don't have variety ones like that at Costco. They just have...
They did. You got me one before, and it had, all sorts of different cheesecakes.
But it wasn't from Costco.
Oh.
I got those from, Walmart or
huge.
Albertsons or whatever. But
It's
yeah,
Chad
it's like
Gable
huge.
taking it right to Randy Orton.
It's not as thick as these, but yeah, it's big. Different ones, but Costco doesn't have those. They just have plain cheesecake. Then they have cheesecake with like cherry topping on it sometimes. Then they had like a pumpkin cheesecake during November, right? That pumpkin cheesecake, yeah, for Thanksgiving-ish time.
Did you even have a piece?
I had a few pieces. I couldn't eat any more of it. Let's see. Phil says, spoiler, someone's going to bash the party. Yeah? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
So if it's like, does Dee have any night offs from her real job?
She hasn't been working on Sundays.
Been trying not to work on Sundays. I don't think I'm going to be working this Sunday, though. Pickle says parties never go well.
Marriages, parties, contract signings, there's always some sort of chaos. It's like high school.
On WWE, anyways. Hey, you know, in personal life, parties go well. Sometimes. Film says, not a big fan of unicorns. There was a theory going around about unicorns. Don't know what it was, but you might want to look it up for yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
Well, Film, that's why I call COVID unicorn sprinkles. Matthew says the truck drivers don't go after the lizards. The lizards come to them. A handy foot, a ride to the next truck stop sounds like a good deal. Unfortunately, I'm done with those risks.
My question is how do you not get caught? You know what I mean? Like, what if they're a cop? Like, is there like an unknown trick? Like, the girls make you touch them first or something?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because there's got to be some sort of a code or something. Like, let's play just the tip, and then if you're real, I'll give you money.
So he says, people that watch news all day, every day, they go nuts about everything, right? And only watches the news sometimes, and she reads the newspaper every day.
Poor lady. I bet you she is, like, full-blown psycho.
Right? Psycho killer.
My mom's like that, and she is... You can't even have a conversation with her.
You can't.
You're like, oh, my God. Like, what do you hear? Like, she'll call me up and be like, did you hear? And I'm like, no. A gunman killed every single person in New York City. Like, 14 million people? That's a hell of a gun.
That's insane. How'd that happen?
He's going to pin Randy. No, Randy kicks out just in time. Ducks down. There's his power slam. Patented power slam.
And it's funny because you can't use logic on them because they're so, in that, they're like, no, it's true. It's true. The news told me, so it's got to be true.
You don't know more than the news. Like, well, turn the channel. You know, sometimes you can just use common sense. Like, you don't have to, have an education to listen to the news.
So funny.
So Riddle on the outside got slammed by Otis. What's Randy going to do here? Curb. Oh, legend killer move.
Ooh, missed and then tripped.
Uh-oh. Ankle lock. That ankle lock. Randy's going to tap.
Is he?
He has to.
Nah.
He's going to break his ankle.
He's not going to.
Here goes his tap.
He's not going to tap.
He's going to tap. He's either going to tap or just pass out.
He's not going to tap. Randy.
Oh, shit.
Randy.
Scooter to the back of the big man.
The ref's all distracted.
The ref's not paying
now.
attention.
The ref's
Is
like,
Randy
I don't even
tapping?
know what's going on?
Was Randy tapping, though?
No, he twerked and smacked him in his...
There it is.
RKO out of nowhere.
He called it to a prediction. Like Notre Dame. 1, 2, and 3.
There it is. Go, Randy Orton, winning. Good job, buddy.
No sweat.
People's like, when was sanitation stations a thing? I don't know. Pandemics, I guess. Phil's like, come on, doctors, take care of the babies. And Matthew says, in the early 1900s, people were still throwing sewage in the streets. Florence Nightingale introduced sanitation to hospitals with hand washing with soap and cleaning medical instruments. Piccolo says
Old
it's interesting
Florence.
because I used to set that shy up in the field for army goers. sanitation stations, right? Will Hunter's in the chat. Hey, Will. He says, hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, Will. Matthew says, yeah, this is the holiday season for wrestling fans. They don't do Survivor Series anymore, do they?
They do. Survivor Series is in November.
Pico's like, D, always breaking standards. What did I break now? What did I do? Matthew's like, pumpkin spice is overrated. Well, of course it's overrated because they put it in everything. But that pumpkin cheesecake was pretty damn good.
I thought we were talking about the Spice Girls for a second.
No, we were talking about, like, a thing that happens during this time of the year. Philip says, not going to lie, I really enjoyed that 2 women's tag team match. 7.7 women's armpits out of 10 for that match. Nice. Sophie says, this road to the Rumble has been different compared to other years' storylines and feud-wise.
Yeah, it's because you got 2 unbeatable champions. And so it kind of makes it, like, weird.
As Matthew says, who's going to crash the party? I don't know. Phil's like, pumpkin cheesecake, question mark? Matthew's like, yeah,
Edge.
Walking or working. That's the code. That's the code. You walking or working? That's your code for your tab lizards.
But a cop could figure that
Exactly.
out. It has to be something physical.
Looks like, Trav, you should find time to watch this past Sunday's game between Buffalo Bills and KC Chiefs.
I watched some of, like, I watched the first quarter, and then I watched a little bit of the third quarter.
One of, if not, the best game I've ever witnessed. It was insane. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills should have won. They got cheated. Film's like, hold up, what you meant to say, pumpkin cheesecake or pumpkin pie? Pumpkin cheesecake, Film.
How did they get...
They totally got cheated. Sophie's like, every time the news is on somewhere, I go in my room to watch something else or play one of my video games. It's the best way to do it. Avoidance.
Oh! Last Monday.
They're going to give you last Monday's stuff. Lily.
Alexa Bliss.
I will kill your face. Matthew says, LOL, T-Rex. Good on you for not knowing how to pick up a joker. LOL. To establish trust in the street, it is a learning process. The code is like buying drugs on the street. There is always a risk. I'm glad I don't know how to pick up people from truck stops.
Well, we don't have any here because we don't have hookers, so they can't build truck stops. We do not.
Sophie says,
have
my mom's
prostitutes.
aunt and uncle watch the news 24/7. Pickle says, that's what propaganda does to you. Paranoia and makes you hate groups, even when it half-truth and speculative info. Right. Yeah, because you're going off of somebody else's opinion instead of them just giving you the bare-bone stuff, facts, and then leaving it at that.
Soon what's going to be happening is the bots are going to be the propaganda machine, so that's not even going to be ran by humans, and they're going to be able to reason, change the argument so fast that humans aren't going to be able to keep up with them in the argument, and it's just going to work because it'll just go exactly with what you are thinking. It's going to be terrifying when you get on a stream and you're like, everything is right. You're like, it's going to be a bot. Bots. No.
Matthew says, breaking the law, which is why I don't recommend anyone trying to buy weed on the streets.
So my sister always told me, now you guys, this, like, Wrestling Gab does not do this. I honestly don't do drugs at all. But my sister did tell me one time, she's like, if you want drugs and you're in a new city, you just go to the courthouse and go, there's always a park across the street from the courthouse. And that park will have every drug that you need. And I'm not kidding. So her and her husband would drive around the country, and they did this job where they would collect money for the police. You know, they call you up and say, how much money would you like to donate? That was their job. That's the company they worked for. And they drove around the country setting up these facilities, and that's how they got their drugs. They would just go to the courthouse and then the parks across the street. I'm like, who are you?
Right? Like, well, who would even think that that's what you would do? Like, it wouldn't even be a thought because I don't do drugs either. So I'm just like, That's kind of a weird thought.
I don't even know if I would buy drugs from somebody I've known for
in
16 years. I'd be like, no.
No. Robbie's like, message retracted, but Matthew says T-Rex sing some Spice Girls, LOL.
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
Is that a Spice Girls song?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really
Robbie
want.
says Matthew, so true. Film says pumpkin cheesecake. I might want to give that a try, but I bet it tastes good. It did taste good. I think they only had it during Thanksgiving time at Costco. Luke's like, wait, the Bills got cheated? They so got cheated. Film says last Monday. Robbie's like, D teaching the views bad bits, LOL. Film's like, yeah. So Matthew says the trick is to put the money on the main member. That way they have to make contact to manager a formal exchange of currency. To make a formal exchange of currency.
Right.
Film says armpit goddess, let's go. Sophie says non-football fans are happy that Tom Brady isn't going to the playoffs.
Right. Which is just weird.
He should have retired. He could have retired on top instead of on the bottom.
I just didn't want an all-California NFC championship game. That was my thing. Was like, so I was hoping that another team would win.
Yeah. Matthew says, oh, Ms. D does need her own The View series. Their title needs work. Film says, fake news. I hate fake news. Robbie's like, film about have a heart attack.
So Bliss has changed her outfit up a little bit. It's a little more black. It's a little more dark.
She's talking about Lily right now, guys. Walter's like,
is.
okay, bye, guys. See you Wednesday for AEW 8 p.m. Bye, Walter. Thanks
Bye,
for hanging
Walt.
with us. Have a good night. Piccolo says, people that love NXT 2.0 must be all bots then. Sophie says, who's your fave comedian?
Cat Williams.
Yeah, he's funny.
It's got to be Cat Williams. If it's not Cat Williams, it's Dane Cook. For
Piccolo
me.
says, LO, we do not condone drug soliciting. Okay.
Although there's a lot of these. I really like this dry humor, but I don't know any of the comedians. But it's just like the Anthony something.
Oh.
His stuff is just so dry. You know, he talks about like killing babies or something. Like, and it's just so funny. That's just an example. He doesn't actually talk about killing babies. And that CK guy, that Louis CK, he's fucking hilarious. I didn't realize how funny he was. My alarm went off this morning for stand-up.
Oh.
And he had one, and it was so stinking funny.
Mm-hmm. Matthew says, I usually make a Wii Connect when I first get to a new area. I didn't when I moved here. I got more advanced, even though it took a bit of time. And Robin says, Sophie, search up Alan Carr. He's funny. Film says, no, I'm still alive, and it had a heart attack, Robbie. Sophie says every network have something for people if they don't want to watch the Olympics. And Luke says, anyways, let's go Chiefs, LOL.
Yeah.
Boo! Boo on you!
So I'm not going to cheer for the Chiefs this year because the Bengals need to go. Like, that's just a Cinderella story.
Phil says good.
The Bengals have sucked since I was a kid.
Right.
Boomer Esiason took him to Super Bowls. Like, he was pretty good. But after that, they were shit. And so it's like, that would be nice to see them. Now, granted, the Chiefs weren't good until, like, the last couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they've had their Cinderella run.
Right.
But I'm sure they're going to be in the Super Bowl at least 3 more times. It depends on when the other players' contracts come up. Because Patrick Mahomes is going to make so much money that they're not going to be able to spend money.
Right.
Once it starts to accelerate. Because each year he'll make more and more and more and more. Because that's how they're hooked up. Like, each year it progresses more and more money.
True.
They're called backloaded.
Right.
Hey, you're going in one, homeboy.
Ooh, your opponent.
Who's your opponent? Oh, shit. Yeah. Austin Theory going one-on-one with AJ Styles tonight.
Film says good. I'm glad that Tom Brady is not going to be in the Super Bowl. He wins too much, or should I say he cheats too much.
Just because somebody wins doesn't mean they cheat. Delete though. The Bills got cheated.
They totally got cheated. That's film saying that, not me.
Oh.
Sophie says, how's your dogs doing?
Just another day older.
Matthew's like, she going hill? Who? Are you talking about?
Bliss? The Blister?
She's been kind of hill for a while.
She's an interesting
Robbie says, F
in-betweener.
this Alexander Bliss gimmick. It's cooked burnt now. Piccolo says, it's the same when LeBron James doesn't win. Sophie says, it's funny the Super Bowl is taking place in Texas, but there won't be a Texas team in it.
Well, they can't have a Texas
Sophie,
team.
Are you high? The Super Bowl is in SoFi Stadium in L.A.
Yeah, I don't know why she thought it was in Texas.
I don't know either, because everything's been in Texas. Piccolo says, Jesse Link. I mean, like, they have a lot of the shows have been in Texas.
Right.
Sophie says, I like Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr. So, in L.A. or in Louisiana, SoFi?
SoFi's in California. That's where the Rams play.
Film says, I didn't have a heart attack. That's what I meant to say.
Can you imagine if
like
the Rams
I
play the
hate having
Chiefs and the
heart
Rams
attacks.
beat them? They will have lost back-to-back Super Bowls to a home team. Like, that doesn't happen. Usually, very rarely do home teams play in the Super Bowl. That's why they should just do it in Miami every year, because the Dolphins will never make it.
It looks like Sophie's spreading super fake news. Phil's like, I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl, honestly. Matthew says, I don't think CK deserved the heat he got for Me Too cringe of getting permission to wank. Peculiar, yeah, but not worth destroying a career. He didn't force himself onto anyone, unlike some scum.
I don't pay attention to that stuff anyways.
just
If they're
dumb.
good, they're good. If they're not, they're not. Like, I don't care. Just like the guy from Seinfeld, I don't boycott him.
Richard Kramer.
I don't care.
Richard, whatever
I'm
his
still
name
going to
was.
watch Seinfeld.
Oh my gosh, like, because the whole, like, black people thing.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I've seen that. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's actually pretty funny.
I've seen it. It was hilarious.
That was like
Sophie-
in the 90s, I
It
think.
was. Sophie says, I thought it was in Texas.
The
Next,
WrestleMania is in Texas.
Yeah, WrestleMania is in Texas.
And they wanted it to be in California this year, but they were worried about the mandates because they wanted to sell out. Right, so the Super Bowl would have been there, and then WrestleMania would have had a bigger crowd. And that's what they wanted to do, and then they didn't, so they went to Texas first so they can sell it out a huge crowd. And then they'll go to California next year, and they'll have a bigger crowd than the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
That's their goal.
Piccolo says, I was rooting for the Seahawks when they had a small window a few years back. Right? Or Robbie says, Austin Theory, dick-headed. LOL.
They did win one, though, right? Didn't they win the Super Bowl? Didn't they?
The Seahawks?
I'm pretty sure they won one. Mm-hmm. And then the one, Russell Westbrook threw that fucking interception in the end zone to the Patriots. Like, who on earth throws that ball? Nobody throws that ball. There's no reason to throw a slant on the goal line right there in that situation. I mean, if anything, run the ball. And Russell Westbrook can run. But anyways, yeah, then the Patriots intercepted, and I'm pretty sure they won.
Huh. I don't remember a lot of those. Well, Luke says Los Angeles, where the Rams and Chargers play. Film says, okay, Misty and Travis, I'm about to head out. Love you guys. Take care and stay safe. God bless America. God bless WWE, WM Zarpus. Peace out. Bye. Peace out. Well, hopefully, Film, your eye feels better. But hopefully the swelling goes away. Piccolo says that makes sense because of the West Coast Hip Hop Halftime Show. 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 He said say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
How'd I do? I didn't do it 5 times, but Matthew says, I can't believe the Super Bowl is going to be in California. Being that they are so strict, maybe that's the plan. The government wants to force sprinkles, protect large groups of people from all over USA. So if it's like, for some reason, I thought the Super Bowl was in Texas. I don't know why. It's because it's WrestleMania type of thing.
Vince likes to follow the Super Bowl. And like last year, it was in Tampa. And then WrestleMania was in Tampa. He just likes to sell out the same stadium and have a bigger
We're
fans.
Veer one. I haven't
Veer!
seen this one. This one's new. A story of strength and brutality. Have you ever locked eyes with a lion?
Coming to Raw soon, next week.
Coming
week,
to Raw?
Nothing?
Doesn't
God
say
damn
soon.
it.
Just
Come
says
on,
coming to Raw.
anything. Hint at it.
Robbie says, doesn't Stan Kroenke own a baseball team?
I have no idea who Stan Kroenke is.
Kroenke? I don't know how to say his stupid name. Sophie says, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige.
I don't know who Kendrick Lamar is, but I've heard of the other ones. Kendrick? I've never heard
Robbie
that.
says, Sophie, where are they before your time? Matthew says, Dave Meltzer hit Hart for saying that there was a larger attendance for Auschwitz than Raw last week or something. He said something like that, and he hit great even though he is Jewish. So, because he's Jewish, he can make jokes like that.
The Jew jokes. That's what Seinfeld was talking about with his dentist.
Look, the Bills played amazingly. But if your defense lets a team go from their own 25-yard line to your 35-yard line in 13 seconds when there was only 19 seconds left on the clock, you deserve to lose. No, seriously, the Bills were cheated.
I think that they deserve to lose because they let that quarterback run all over him. He wasn't even using his teammates. He was using his feet, the Chiefs quarterback.
I know. He's a fucking moron.
Mahomes.
Sorry, Luke. I hate your quarterback. Mahomes is a fucking douchebag. He thinks he's the whole fucking team. What a fucking loser face. He couldn't even utilize his team for the first touchdown, so he's like, I got the first touchdown. Look at me. I'm so much better than everybody else. What a loser. Yeah, I'm not a fan of your Chiefs quarterback at all. Like, he fucking is a dumb fuck.
Right, but he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, if not top 2, 3.
Why? Because he thinks he can play the whole team? Take all of his defenders away and see how fucking good he is.
What do you mean defenders?
Take all of his offensive linemen away. See how good he is. Maybe he can snap the ball to himself. Maybe then he can throw the ball and then run and catch the ball for himself too.
Okay, no quarterback can do that.
Are you sure? Because that's how he acts like he can. From what I saw in that game.
Anyways, they are locking up AJ Styles, Austin Theory.
So if it's like baseball final season game, the World Series should have a halftime type of show. Yeah?
Right.
You think?
They just do the national anthem before the game starts, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like a 7th inning stretch, like take me out to the ball game, but it ends up being like a concert. The only problem is it takes so long to set it up.
Matthew says LMFAO, Miss D, West Coast Hip Hop halftime show. Is that what it was? That's what Piccolo said it was. So West Coast Hip Hop halftime show. The West Coast Hip Hop halftime show. The West Coast Hip Hop halftime show. Pickle says, what's your favorite Kendrick song, Sophie? And Robbie says, try saying Peter Piper picks a pickled peppers. I can do that one. Really good. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked. Booyah!
AJ rolls him up. Theory gets out of it.
Sophie's like, I don't know any of Kendrick's songs. Chris says, I saw WWE trademark the Goddess Bliss, so maybe old character return.
That would be nice.
Maybe. So do you think AJ Styles is going to win this against Austin Theory?
Uh-huh.
You're going to show him how to be an actual champion?
Oh, phenomenal forearm.
He looked kind of awkward when he flew over the top of that. Like, what?
I think it's because he was too close. See? The one guy said crossbody because he couldn't see it, but it's the phenomenal forearm.
Right. Definitely a forearm was happening. He just didn't take his... Did he take his elbow off?
No.
Okay. Doesn't he usually take
that's
his
what
elbow off?
for his finisher, yeah. But that was on the outside.
He's like, oh, my fucking typo. Sorry for butchering that. It's fine. I got it. Pickle's like, he produced most of the Black Panther soundtrack. That's probably why I don't know him.
I have not seen that movie yet either.
Luke says Veer taking their real long way around to Raw.
Right? It kind of reminds me of Emma back in the day where they just kept hinting and hinting and hinting, but then it never happened.
Let's see. Pico's like, I like swimming pools or bitch don't kill my vibe. Is that what that Kendrick guy sings? That's terrifying.
Sounds funny.
Robbie's like, he's American sports owner. I thought you might know him.
Well, I used to know all the NFL owners and all the baseball owners and stuff, but I don't follow the NFL. I haven't watched an NFL game that wasn't the Super Bowl in 5 years, a full game. I've watched a quarter. This year, I didn't watch anything except for a little bit on Sunday. I didn't watch any on Saturday because the UFC was on. Mm-hmm. And I watched a little bit of the Bengals game and a little bit of the... or not Bengals game, sorry. That was the day before. I want to say Patriots because Tom Brady, but that's not what they were. The Buccaneers. Yeah. I watched a little bit of that game, and it was like 27-3 or something, and then the Bucks came back, at least made it 20-27. I don't know what the final score was because I turned it off.
Sophie says, that's not what Sophie says. Sophie says the halftime show is the most I'm looking forward to since the Justin Timberlake one a few years ago. And then Ravi's message retracted, Luke's ... and then he message retracted in the LOL. And then Chris says, I want Theory to win the Rumble.
What? And what champion do you want to see him challenge?
Ravi says, shame on you, Travis. Sophie not knowing Kendrick Lamar. He's a quality hip-hop rapper. Piccolo says that's any quarterback when they're on top.
I like a guy named Baby. I think his name's The Baby or something. I like him. He's got a little bit deeper voice, and his rapping style's a little bit more my style.
Piccolo said that. Sophie says Tampa Bay quarterback got fired after he made a big fool out of himself for whatever reason.
What?
Chris says, I know you don't like geriatrics, but I think they should set up Edge versus AJ Styles for Mania.
Why not? That would be a fantastic match.
Why not have a couple of old people out there?
Nothing wrong with AJ.
Luke's like, my favorite Kendrick song is a version of Bad Blood he did with Taylor Swift, LOL. And then all people had to say was Luke. And Robbie's like, but can you scratch the words with your voice like a DJ like I can? Bet you can't, D, LOL. No, I can't.
Oh, shit!
And I refuse to try.
AJ might be broken.
Looks like yes, Piccola. And so he says, without Dr. Dre, guys like Snoop Dogg and Eminem wouldn't be where they are.
That's a fact.
And Mary J. Blige, I don't know how she fits in that equation.
She doesn't. They just had to put a girl in there.
They have to be fair. You know, all the sexes and whatnot. Don't want the feminists to have their meltdowns. Picco's like, oh, I just read what you posted and looks like LOL. And Matthew's like, I think football should be played on a hill.
Right? Like in the old days. That's how we used to play it.
As Piccolo says, Luke, shaking my head there. That's better. Like the whole Bad Blood he did with Taylor Swift. Piccolo's just like, dude, seriously. What the fuck, man? The disappointment's real from Piccolo. Chris says, on Sunday, Packers versus Niners was a good game.
That was a Saturday night game, wasn't it?
I thought it was Saturday. Janelle says, I was at
I
work
didn't watch it
today, and it turns out my boss likes wrestling, and we actually bonded over wrestling today. It was the first time we had something in common.
That's awesome.
And Sophie says, Travis comparing Veer to Emma, that's a joke. Emma didn't take this long to come to Raw.
She didn't come.
She just never showed up.
Like, they did this for a while. She's like in a bathtub for a while. She was all sexy for a minute, and then she was released.
And then they did that same thing with Liv, and then she came in as a lesbian.
Oh, I remember her. Yeah, they did the bathtub stuff with Liv also.
And then she came in as a lesbian and was like all over her, like, oh, Lana. And it was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
That crashed and burned.
What the hell?
They scrapped that one pretty quick.
What the hell? What the hell? Somebody says that. Janelle says, do you think Tom Brady is going to retire after this?
I hope so.
That motherfucker should have retired last year when he was on top.
I feel like he should have retired last year.
Fucking party fire.
But he could be patting his stats. I don't know what his stats are, but he's got to be number one in touchdowns and yards and all sorts of stats.
Right? Sophie's like, I thought Tom Brady did retire. No, he just moved to a different team. Chris says the baby goes hard. Matthew says Gronkowski retired, I think. Yeah, and then Tom Brady asked him to come back when he moved to the Bucks, and so he did.
There's two babies, though, and it's the one with the deeper voice that raps a little bit smoother.
Of the baby?
Because there's two babies, but I don't know which one's which.
Mm. And Piccolo is asking Janelle, does he know his shit, Janelle? Does he? Does he know his wrestling shit? And Chris says, has Bliss came out? Not to
Yes,
wrestle.
that part's over. We did see the
Therapy.
counseling.
We saw the therapy issue. Sophie says Gronkowski did retire to sign with the WWE and then went back to football. They started hyping Veer in coming to Raw in October.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And as Luke says, I don't care what anyone says. I'm a huge Swift fan, and she just keeps making huge hit after huge hit.
Is she owning her music now when she's doing this?
Picola says, I enjoy Ozzy Osbourne, but just his songs with Post Malone. Robbie says, I taught myself with my voice how to do the scratch routine of Run DMC Peter Piper by DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh, yeah? All three of them?
That's weird. Pickle's like, yeah, that's how cringe happens. Chris says, oh, Ozzy. Robbie's like, Taylor Swift sucks, not gonna lie.
I like teardrops on my guitar.
Take deep breaths, Luke. Take deep breaths.
I like teardrops on my guitar.
We're attacking your Chiefs. We're attacking Taylor Swift. It's gonna be okay.
And there's another one. Oh, Tim McGraw.
Get
When
your
you
bag
think
out.
Tim McGraw, I hope you think of me.
Don't hyperventilate. Old Tim McGraw. Matthew says the new Slipknot song is dangerous. I can't wait. Matthew says I got smoked in the army for singing Swift.
Oh, God.
It's like, yes, the last 4 albums she did in the past 2 years she owns, but that includes the 2 albums she remade. Well, good for her. I'm glad that she's finally owning her shit instead of just letting other people own her.
Pimping her. The American record label companies. She wrote them. It was her pictures. It was her artwork. It was all of her stuff. And she didn't even have an opportunity to buy it. They didn't even give her the opportunity to buy it.
Bastards.
I don't think she could have afforded it, but...
No. They fucked her over bad with that kind of stuff. Just amazes me.
Pimping her.
Oh,
Austin
Luke says,
Theory.
Robbie, you have no room to judge, you tiny chav. Matthew says, Garth Brooks is a national treasure. What was his alter ego gimmick he did? What a pud.
Chris Daniels or something like that? What was that? I forgot about that.
He went out as somebody else.
Yeah, he became somebody else for a while.
Yeah, weird. What the fuck?
I can't
That's
remember
weird.
it, though, but... That's funny that you brought that up. I forgot about that. I have no idea. I can't remember. Yeah, Garth Brooks is the shiznit for country music. Because he's a showman.
My mom had a cassette tape of Garth Brooks.
He would tell a story before each song.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Not on his CDs, in concert. That's what I mean.
Oh.
He sits there on a stool and he tells you a story. It almost brings you to tears, and then he starts singing, and you're like, what the fuck? How much emotion can one person put out there? Fucking dick. Trying to enjoy the concert. I went to 2 of them. Of his concerts.
Yeah.
It's just like, dear God, dude. I don't want to cry with girls.
Robbie says, I would rather listen to myself on the toilet than listen to Taylor Swift. Chris says, I also got more autographed of Nolan Ryan, like an autographed baseball and Beanie Babies and
that's
8x10
cool.
photos. Although my parents like, why are you obsessed with Nolan Ryan? I'm like, I'm sorry for liking sports.
5,000K.
So
My buddy's got the guy that they got in a fist fight. Him and he remember when he hit, was it Ventura or whatever? He hit him with the fastball, and then the guy rushed him, and Nolan's like, okay. And then Nolan beat him up on the pitcher's mound. He put him in a headlock and was just punching him in the face. Usually the batter's the badass.
Right.
Nolan Ryan's like, okay.
It's like, oh, you want to fight, huh?
Anyways,
You wanna fight, bitch?
they decided to do a baseball card. Topps did a card, and they put both of their pictures on it, you know? And then my buddy has both of their autographs on it. So it's actually pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Danny, that's what he was talking about Saturday.
Was he?
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
I think it was Ventura, but I could be wrong there.
That's pretty neat.
Whoever Nolan beat up.
Sophie says, I used to work at CVS, and I used to bond with my coworkers with baseball, and when I used to go to camp, I bonded with my friends with both baseball and WWE.
Hell yeah.
Luke says there is no accounting for horrible taste, Ravi, and Pico's like Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines. Yes.
Chris says, I also have other stuff, but I can see where they are coming from. But hey, better than being obsessed with Edge, lol, or drugs. Or drugs. Your obsession is a little bit more healthy.
I like that Taylor Swift song where the video, she's in that big mansion, and then there's like a Jaguar or like an old muscle car, like a Shelby not a Mustang, but a Shelby Cobra, and I think she's beating it up with a golf club. That song's great. It's from her 1989 album or whatever.
Oh, Luke will know what it is.
That one is good. I like that song, but I can't. Dun, dun, dun. That's how she sings it. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know the words.
So since Justin Timberlake did 2 or 3 Super Bowl halftime shows in his career, one of them was with NSYNC.
Yeah, she did. He did one with Janet Jackson. Remember, he pulled her boobie out. He did.
He's like, I totally remember that one because a boobie was out.
Yeah, he pulled her tit out.
He totally had a titty out. Their titty was all out. It was just all out there.
He ripped it out, and she had the earring through her nipple.
Titty, titty, titty.
And she got I don't know if she ever did anything after that. I think that was the end of her career. 1, 2, and no! AJ kicks out. Janet Jackson.
Oh. Robbie says, Luke, you should know, LOL. Pico's like, we all have our vices. As Matthew says, it was Chris Gaines, the alter ego of Brooks. I drove under a bridge of a road that was named for him in Texas.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. Chris says, I, too, also have an alter ego. I might come back and chat with it. Oh, Luke says, I listen to great music. Swift, Korn, Nightwish, The Animal in Me, In This Moment, Pentonics.
The Pentonics or whatever. That's
CCR, Garth Brooks, Sawyer Brown, Blink, 182, and more.
So with Sawyer Brown, I like Sawyer Brown. They're a really good band. My only problem is I only like 3 or 4 of their songs. I went to their concert, and I was like, it was cool because it was live, and I like live music. But I didn't know shit of their songs, and none of them sounded that good. But I love Sawyer Brown.
Pico says, oh yeah, I wanted to listen to more The Animal in Me. And Sophie says, I used to listen to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Nothing wrong with that.
Pico says, you had mentioned them on SD. And Luke says, Black Space Trav.
Blank Spaces. That's what it's called.
Blank Spaces?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's a great song. I don't know how somebody couldn't like that song. Luke's probably going to be like, oh, I don't like that song. but that song's the shit.
Black Space is
Blank.
what he said, but blank. Oh, he meant blank. Okay.
Yeah.
Sophie says, thanks to that, Janet Jackson's Super Bowl halftime show, people canceled Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I know she got canceled. Like I said, I don't know if she ever did anything again in her career after that.
Pico's like, I mean, I listened to you too.
Oh no, hell no. I wouldn't listen to U2 if somebody paid me.
You know who's the main singer of U2, right?
It's the biggest piece of shit ever.
The biggest piece of shit on this planet.
He literally is married in Keurigs.
Piece of shit.
The Keurig is the measurement for poop, and he is the largest Keurig on the Keurig scale ever.
Looks like blank space. Robbie says this Austin Theory match must not be important if they're chatting about Taylor Swift.
He's going to cheat to win. Look at that. Oh, the referee caught him. She's fantastic. She's too fantastic for that.
She's like, oh yeah, I saw you cheating, you little bastard. You little cheating bastard. Matthew says, Robin Ventrino and Ryland fight. Janet Jackson nipple exposure was the most rewatched moment on TiVo in its history from what I recall. The device was a new technology at the time.
That's it. It's
he got
over.
The phenomenal forearm.
It's over.
And he didn't even have to cheat.
No, oh no, he's on a different level.
Oh, looks like Pickle. If you like The Animal in Me, you might like Hollison. Sophie says Justin Timberlake did apologize with what he did to both Britney Spears and Janet. Robbie says Hallison ain't they a rocky cover band. Matthew says LL Bono is the record exceeding Al Curix. I'm pretty sure that it was meant to be exposed.
Oh, of course it was. They did it on purpose. And for them to say that it was an accident, because that's what it was before, and then he reaches over and rips it off. Like, there's no way it could have been fake.
Not with her nipple being completely covered.
No, it's not covered. It's out. Like, in that picture that I showed you.
What is the thing on it?
It's like this, like, she has it chrome, but that's the nipple's in the middle of it. See a little pink in the middle?
Kinda, yeah, I guess.
That's what I mean. Like, it's basically all covered, but the nipple's still there. That's why I said it was like this weird piercing thing.
The Arlington Undertaker. It's me, Chris Akane, the alter ego. It's a long story about my name, but basically, my parents dubbed me this name because I went to Arlington when I was young, and my favorite wrestler is Taker, hence my name, the Arlington Undertaker.
Boom.
Sophie's like, good night. And Matthew says AJ Styles still has at least 2 solid years left in the main roster.
Hopefully they use him for something.
And the Arlington Undertaker, or Chris says, it's funny because I ain't even from there. I'm from Houston. And Luke says, yes, Robbie, with hundreds of videos on YouTube, Hallison and the Animal and Me are similar, but Hallison is more punk pop rock. The Animal and Me is more hard rock and metal. Matthew says, wardrobe malfunction became part of our dialect after Jaxson.
Right? Wardrobe malfunction was like a word, probably the most used word of that year.
I was like, yeah, Luke, I know them.
Last year, the number 1 word was the spinnies. Nobody knew what the fucking spinnies were until last year. Till Simone Biles quit on America and quit on her friends and her teammates. And
quit on herself. God damn, she quit all over the place. What a quitter. Lose her face.
His big dong.
Lose her face.
I'm looking forward to this game. I think I'm going to buy it.
Why are you looking forward to it?
It just looks fun.
Does it, though?
I hope there's some glitches in it. So, like, when you, like, do something, it's just so funny that you can't, like, you hallucinate laugh. Like the other one they had.
The refs.
Like, getting 69'd. The ref's just up in it. March 11th.
Now, it's March 11th. Get the 3 playable versions of The Undertaker.
I thought it was March 8th. I'm going to have to change my dates.
Pico's like, oh god, just like the Kardashians? Like a spinner thingy?
I don't know anything about the Kardashians. I can honestly tell you I've seen one episode.
I know who they are, but...
And her and her sister, and this is back when her sister was heavy, Chloe or whatever. The
oldest one?
Yeah, and the young ones, they were just, like, not babies, but they were, like, way young. They were, like, 8, 10.
Right. Oh, wow.
The ones that are, like, multi-billionaires
That was, like,
now.
20 years ago.
Yeah, no, this is when this started.
When Caitlyn was a man.
Yes. Bruce was a dude.
Back when Bruce was still a dude. I don't know if he finally got rid of his junk, but...
Anyways, yeah, no, so seriously, I'm watching this, and they pick up a hobo, and they take him to the dentist, and get all of his teeth pulled and put in fake, like the studs.
Posts?
Yeah.
Huh.
And like, it was like $40,000 in dental work or something that they put in, just some bum, and they brought him home, and they, like, dressed him up and shit.
Like a doll?
Yeah, some hobo.
So the guy's like, sure, I'll have all my teeth pulled out. And
yeah, so he had, like, a beautiful face. Like, his mouth was just, it was white. It was, like, crazy. I was just like, holy shit.
What the fuck?
Like, he's still homeless, right? Like...
I was like, Pico, the Kardashians, how are they famous? And Matthew says, Biles knew what she was doing. She balled out of the game while using her public position for her personal gain.
Yeah. I mean, who cares how it happened? I just know that it did.
Tayshaun Smith is in the chat. Hey, Tayshaun says, who are your favorite to win Royal Rumble? Men for the men.
Men. It really is going to depend on who wins out of Brock and Bobby. If Bobby wins the title, I think Brock will win the Rumble. Like, he'll enter himself into it somehow. But if you're talking about taking those guys out, Seth out, and Roman out, it's got to be somebody... like Gunther or I'm trying to think of somebody else. I mean, they could do Braun, but I think Braun Breaker's a little too young still. You know, I haven't really given it much thought. Big E could win it. I know a lot of people would be upset about that one, but I wouldn't. I'd be fine with it if he won that one. Trying to think anybody else, because McIntyre's not going to be in it. So it's not really stacked on the man's side. There's not a lot going on.
Right.
Who am I missing? Like, who's another big-time wrestler? We just kind of named all the big guys. I guess Edge and Miz probably aren't going to be in it either. I don't know how they're going to do it. I honestly have to see, and hopefully they'll give us some more men tonight who's going to be in it, because I think we know 15 right now.
Right. There's some names that they're giving, but I'm going to catch up real quick before I say them. I Love Roblox says, who do y'all want to win at Rumble, Roman Reigns or the Visionary Revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins?
Seth.
Sophie says, isn't AEW going to be in Cleveland, Ohio this week as well? I don't know. I can't remember. Pickle says pretty much when Duddle...
Yes, by the way.
Duddle looks like a lady. Dude looks like a lady, right? Matthew says, we live in an interesting timeline, y'all. And Arlington Under here says, I'm surprised the therapist didn't take advantage of Bliss, lol, like using hypnosis. And Tayshawn Smith says, AJ Styles is my favorite to win.
That's
Matthew
a good pick.
says, Smith Biggie is my pick for the Rumble. And Piccolo says, for being attention whore is basically right, people. It's so true. But that's basically what the Kardashians are famous for, being attention whores. The Arlington Undertaker says, here's some other names for you. Walter, Corbin, Finn Balor. Piccolo says, I wish it was Finn Balor.
Yeah, I don't see
Matthew says, Balor was released, I think. Baylor or Balor?
It's Finn Balor.
Matthew. Tayshawn says, Drew McIntyre. He won't be in there.
No, he's out with that neck injury.
Underkicker says apparently X-Pac might not come to Rumble because he showed up at GCW. And what is going on? Undertaker says, I want Balor to win. Matthew says, gotta remember that at least 5 entries will be nostalgia. Yeah, you got all the old ones. And Robbie says, is Asuka ever coming back?
Yeah, you know, and she might be back at the Rumble. That would be optimal for her. And come back and win it would be great.
What are you doing?
But right now
What are you doing? What are you doing?
we have Becky and Doudrop doing a sit down. They are not in the same area. They're not in the same room.
No.
You're desperate.
She gets stuck, man. You're gonna have to stay there. Don't hurt yourself. Dumb dog.
Doudrop wants to break every one of her ribs.
He like pulled out shit out of the recycle bin, like that whole bag of mealworms and bugs bag. He pulled that out, like multiple plates.
He's just having Gale
He's
time.
just having a Gale time in the garbage. Freak. All happy about it.
I've seen some garbage cans at Costco that have, like, if you step on them, the lid's open, and they're stainless steel. They were like $70 a piece, though. But
It didn't look like it was very big, though. Ooh, the bigger person that she is. Becky, not Deja.
I'll lead you to victory.
Patience says, Finn Balor just too damn. I don't think how they treat him. He was very first Universal Champion.
Yeah, he was, too. Separated his shoulder, and then they never looked back. Vince was probably happy that he broke his shoulder.
Chris says, drop, baby. Matthew says, Oscar already strain one Rumble, right?
She already won one? Is that what you're saying? I don't remember her winning. Did she win?
I don't know.
I know she beat Becky the night that Becky won the Rumble. And she won the title that night. And then Becky went on to headline WrestleMania and win it. And she's never looked back. And then, She's going to get beat up in there. What the hell is she wearing? Her bathing suit?
She's wearing a bodysuit, I guess.
Dressing like Simone Biles.
With her disco ball suit she has on. What the fuck?
But with long sleeves, didn't it?
Yes. Robbie says, I think WWE will release Asuka.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Chris says 2 timing Bex. Matthew says Becky should hoe on with Doudrop as a tag team. Becky needs to quit being the loner. I'm just over her.
Don't be over her. She's
Robbie's
the
like,
champion.
or maybe you chat so much-ish, Becky. And Robbie says, yeah, she won one Rumble. She eliminated Nikki Bella in 18.
Old Nikki. But that was a long time ago.
Right?
Now watch. Rey does it to Dom. They're showing all the highlights from last week.
They're like, this is how it really works. Oh, is it?
Rey Mysterio wins the Rumble just so they can sell more games on March 11th.
You probably called it. That's probably what's going to happen.
No.
Google's like, why does the E hold onto people, then release them months later? Contracts.
Yeah, they like to do it to where they can't be on the next pay-per-view for another company. So they look at the other company's pay-per-views, I believe, and then they go by so many days out, and then they'll drop them so they have to miss that pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. But not always, but sometimes that's conspiracy thinking. There's no science beyond that.
Horizon? That looks kind of cool.
Uncharted.
Horizon, huh? Robbie's like, yeah, but she still won. LOL. And Chris says, damn, Becky Lynch looking so hot. Regardless, she's still 2 timing. Well, triple timing when she's done with me. LOL.
Right.
Luke, are you still out there? That's so funny.
Oh, he's not playing. He just walked away. He didn't like that.
Be a kid. He's silly. Right. Max is like, they tried making Becky into a Stone Cold wannabe, but she doesn't really have the same presence. Rhea could dominate the women's division, and Mustafa Ali was denied his request to leave WWE.
Absolutely, he was.
Yeah. Look, yes, what did I miss? Oh, I just want to ask you a question about that Horizon game. Have you seen the preview stuff for that?
Is that Uncharted Horizon?
Mm-mm.
Because right when the game was over, it said Uncharted. It was
I
like
think they were trying to, like, advertise something else.
Right.
Maybe the movie or something. But I'm talking about the game Horizon. It's the Street Profits. They're coming down in their Street Profits attire.
One's 6, one's 24. 624. Does that mean anything?
Is that crunching or is that food?
246. No, it's something out there. See, that's paper crackling. I can go.
Luke says, for the new Horizon game, yes, I've even
not
played the beta. It's a commercial. Yeah, if you want to go. Yeah, that was for it's a new Horizon game. Okay, I don't think I've ever played any of the Horizon games, but it looked kind of interesting.
New Horizon.
How long has that one been around?
There's a school here in town where the bad kids go.
Right? Robbie's like, hello, please, let's never ever have Rhea dominate. That would be a car crash. Luke's like, and I'm a huge fan of the original Horizon Zero Dawn. Huh, okay. Matthew's like, I might get a Stream Deck for a gaming system. Yeah? Yeah, I just saw a commercial for it on the other channel that we're watching. And I was like, I was like, I've seen, like, stuff for the other Horizon, but I've never played it. Is it? It looks kind of like it's like Is it kind of like Is it anything like Fortnite, or is it different? Because if it's like Fortnite, I won't like it. I'm not a big fan of Fortnite. I like RPG games, and I like RPG games that have like quests that you do all the time and stuff. Kind of weird like that. Like Phantasy Star Online is like my most favorite ever RPG game ever, and then Diablo's next. Huh?
He was doing good. He was just eating.
Oh, was he? I thought that sounded like food in a bowl, but I wasn't sure.
I thought I heard paper.
Matthew says, Luke says, I actually think you'd like them to leave the Horizon Zero Dawn is 5 years old, I think. And then I don't know their name. Tempana. Whatever. I don't know your name. That is like Steam Deck, not Steam. Steam. Okay, what is a Steam Deck? What does it do?
Like a stream deck?
I said stream, but I don't think it's stream. Luke says Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 17, and oh god, no, it's a single player RPG. Oh, okay. Yeah, because if it's like that, I can work with that. Matthew says, Miss, do you play Diablo? Hell yeah, I've played Diablo since it was on the computer, my man.
I think it's up there. What's the big game that you haven't opened yet?
That one I need to play. That was, that's the,
right
Final Fantasy game.
It's still not opened, and it's a huge box set looking thing.
Luke says it's like a mix of Assassin's Creed and Skyrim, but infinitely better. Okay. Yeah, if they're like single player RPG games, I can usually handle playing them. I'm just not a huge fan of the group ones. I don't like those. I know a lot of people do, and if you have to play online, I'm like, ugh. I just want to just play my game, do my quests. Matthew says, I haven't played in a bit. Steam, not stream, lol. Steam. What's a Steam Deck? I don't know what that is.
I'm looking forward to the Harry Potter game.
I know, I want to play that. Like, since it's come on, I'm like, ooh. Looks like you still haven't played Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sacrilege. Just haven't taken the time, Luke. Like,
it's still in the wrapper.
It's still in the wrapper. Like, video games, I love video games, and I like to play them. My problem is this, Luke. If I play video games, nothing else happens. Nothing else gets done. I don't go to the grocery store. Nothing gets done. Like, it just, life stops. And I just can't do that anymore. Like, you know, I used to be able to just be like, fuck it. But now it's like, responsibilities. Bleh. So I don't really take a lot of time to play games anymore. I used to play games all the time.
Ray and Son. It's like Sanford and Son.
Against the Street Profits.
Against the Street Profits.
Riley says, yeah, that's the whole point, D, once in a while.
Pace yourself.
Yeah. Well, the once in a while is that it's 6 months later once in a while. That's the problem. And then it's like, ooh, I should play a video game. 10 hours later. Oh, shit.
Well, it's better to do that than just watch
I need to do something.
Law and Order for 10 hours. Or what did you watch yesterday for 10 hours?
What do you mean, what did I watch yesterday for 10 hours? We watched movies. I didn't watch a certain show.
I'm just saying. And
for
then
10 hours.
Sunday before, you watched Seinfeld or something.
Okay, so during January, playing video games isn't going to happen anyways. Because to me, video games aren't as relaxing as they should be. Like, unless it's one I've played multiple times before, and I can just go back and redo things over and over and over again, I don't have a problem with it. But if it's like,
All right,
if
Dawkins
it's
started
new
out with Ray's son.
and I'm trying to like get past something, it's very stressful for me. So I don't like, it's not very relaxing. So then I have to use my brain and I have to do stuff. Where if I'm just watching this stupid thing on TV, I don't have to use my brain. My brain can just turn completely off and I could just sit there like a zombie. Which is nice because I use my brain all the time.
Like those role player games, is there a winning? Or are you just always in it?
No, you win. There's the quest to get to the end. So like, it just like, okay, so take, for example, Super Mario, right? There was a reason for why you went through all the levels, right? What was your end goal?
Yeah, I get it.
It's the same type of concept.
If they end, that's all.
Yeah, they do.
And can you play it a different way and then have a different ending?
Sometimes, depending on what game it is.
It sounds like the Hogwarts one is that way, kind of.
Depending on which way you decide to go. But at the same time,
it looks like that you're gifted with an ancient magic that nobody's seen in a long time. So it kind of looks like they're already setting you up to either be a face or a heel.
Right.
So obviously I want to do both. And maybe that's the only way to do it is just to do both. But
True.
How do you win if you're a heel? Damn, Ray almost went head first into the ground. Over the... Did you see it? He did? With his hand out? He did a fist with his other hand on his hip, like Superman flying out.
Yeah. I saw it. I was looking right when he did it. When he jumped through the ropes. I was not looking down or across.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, wait, that's not pizza.
Well, it looks like the best games I'm currently playing are Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, Sims 4, and Planet Coaster, PS4 version of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I don't know what Sims is. I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Sims has been around for like ever.
But I have that Final Fantasy Odyssey. I own that one. I've just never played it.
Matthew said, "Fix your mic," so
Fix it.
He couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I have that Odyssey one up there.
Yeah.
But there again, I've never played it.
So my brother really likes Assassin's Creed, and he plays video games a lot, all the time. But so the reason why we play video games is actually because of my mom, by the way. My mom got my brother and I completely into video games. We had a Commodore 64 when we were growing up, and we didn't get consoles. We didn't get game consoles. We played on the Commodore 64. And then as we grew older, she would buy newer computers and we'd play video games on computers. So we kind of grew up playing video games on computers first. And I think the first, console that we ever got, my brother got it. And I don't know if it was for his birthday or Christmas. He could probably tell you it was a Sega Genesis.
That was the shit.
And I played Sonic on there all the time. And he played this game that had airplanes and stuff in it. And he played that all the time and couldn't get past certain parts, but he loved it. But anyways, now, we're older and stuff. My mom was playing Elder Scrolls before you guys even were on Elder Scrolls, before it became a thing. She was playing that on her computer before it became a big thing in the console world. And shit like that. So as, getting consoles, my brother would buy the games that my mom played on the computer. So it's just kind of funny how that works. Matthew says the Steam Deck isn't just a game console, it's a PC, which means you can plug it into a monitor or TV, hook up controllers or a mouse and keyboard, and even install Windows if you prefer.
Is it a little box? It's that big, just a little hard drive, basically.
Right.
I think I've seen those.
Robbie's like, ha ha ha, do you have video game addict? That's quality. I still play the classics on my Raspberry Pi.
That's what I was thinking. I know that is it, the Raspberry.
What is that?
It's just a little computer. It's this big. It's just a
Oh.
little box. That's what I was actually talking about.
Huh, okay. Matthew says, save the princess. Yep, exactly. That's what it was all about Super Mario. So RPG games are kind of the same way. You have an end goal, save the world kind of thing.
I haven't played that game in 10 years, and I guarantee I can save the princess. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I still know the mazes.
Right. You played it a couple times and shown me stuff.
Well, I wanted to play it, but the remotes didn't work. To keep up with the game.
Oh, that one little thing we bought. Yeah, that didn't work out.
So if I pushed A, he wouldn't jump for a second. And it's what are you doing? And I played too fast for it not to be instant.
Uh-huh. And we're back. Street Profits
And
versus
we're back,
Rey and
she
Dominik
says.
Mysterio. But anyways, looks like OMG, he did a literal Superman dive. LOL. Yeah, he
Yes,
did.
that was pretty funny.
Robbie's like, Dominik almost a superhero like Nikki ASH. LOL. And Matthew says, hey, T-Rex, Victor Mike, nicely fixed. Yes.
People can hear me.
Robbie's like, WWE 11 ad after a suicide dive.
There it is.
Leap tall buildings in a single bound. Looks like Odyssey is set in Sparta and Valhalla is Viking set.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
why
got
he
the
got
Odyssey one because I love 300, and that's kind of what they were following was the 300
Yeah.
with Leonidas.
Yeah. And my brother has like I think he's gotten almost all the Assassin's Creeds. Robbie says in the UK the Genesis was called Mega Drive. How funny. It looks like I played the original Elder Scrolls. LOL, right? The original Elder Scrolls. How funny is that? Like, I mean, you don't even think about it being an original. Like, and it was only on a computer. It's just hilarious to me. Matthew's like, Elder Scrolls sucks. I waste my time stealing dishes and swimming.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
No
either.
clue.
I
Elder
never
Scrolls?
played it. I never played it. My brother would play it. My mom played it, but I never played it. I was more into Diablo.
I didn't know it existed until January 24th, 2022.
Yeah. And I played Diablo on the computer before I ever played it on a video game console.
Right.
Let's see. Luke says, I was 7 when the original Nintendo came out, so I grew up with computer and console games.
Yeah, I don't know how old I don't know when they actually came out. I just know that I got one in probably 87, 88 or something. And it had to have been the hardest console game ever to play, Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah?
Because we always would play our games until we beat them.
Right.
And that game took so long to win. Like months, maybe a year to win that game. All other games that I've ever played, I beat within, 25 hours, 30 hours of actual playing.
A couple days.
We played 10 hours a day, every day for a year and couldn't beat it. That shit was hard because you weren't used to even holding those remotes. Nowadays, all remotes are the same. You kind of get the idea where your jump buttons are and your run buttons. They kind of put them all in the same place.
Right.
So it's all pretty basic. Ford caught it.
What?
Never seen him not hit the 619. Oh, rolls him up. 1, 2, and 3. Rey rolls him up
roll up.
Botching the 619, then rolls up Ford.
Roll up.
Ford's all sorts of upset.
Fruity fruit. He's like, I hurt my elbow, Dad.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out was hard. That was a really hard one to pass.
Yeah.
We ended up with cheat codes somehow from some kids that lived down the street that must have got Nintendo Magazine or something. Because this is way before the internet. And it took me forever to beat Tyson because you had to work your way to him. And if you lost, you had to go back. And then you had to earn it back. It sucked. And you could only lose twice in the whole game.
That's crazy.
And he knocked the shit out. Like one punch and you were dead in the first round. And so you had to literally just keep hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. Oh no, he went out.
Oh, again.
Rey's too smooth. Trying to get his old man.
Oh.
Ford throws his ass out, though.
Ford's like this.
Now is Dawkins going to throw him out?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa,
Holy
way
shit.
out.
He landed on his feet, though.
I had to, fam.
He's like,
oh, shit. The dirty dogs. The glorious show-offs.
They're like, we'll show you all how to do it. That's just silliness. Matthew's like, the Steam Deck is portable. It has a monitor, too. It's a mobile gaming PC. Bring CIS and hook it up with your TV and a mouse with keyboard, and you have a sort of desktop.
I'll Google it.
Matthew says, I played Diablo on PlayStation first, but I saw a thing about Diablo on 2020. And they were talking about video game addiction and Satanism. LOL, it's still one of my favorite games. Love that game. Yeah. I played it on a computer, so. There was this other little game I played on the computer. I really liked it too. It was kind of like Diablo, but it was like more like kid orientated almost to a certain degree.
Doom?
No,
Doom was the bloodiest.
No, it wasn't. It's not like that. Like, it's almost the same literal concept as Diablo.
There was a computer game around that time that those came out, and it was called Myst. And you, like, were trapped on an island or something, and you had to, like, do little quests to get to the next clue, and then different things would happen. And you're just stuck on the island. You know nothing. So you're just wandering around looking for information. And there's, like, half star charts, and you got to put these together, and you know nothing. It was that was a fun game. It took me forever to win that. I only played on weekends over at TJ's house because I didn't have a computer.
Right.
He had the internet. It was like all like crazy. Like nobody had the internet, you know. Like 3 of us.
What year was that?
Probably 95, 96. Basically, I just like to play golf on Jeff's dad's computer. His was the old school computer with the green.
Uh-huh.
You know, the words and the guys were in green.
Yeah.
It wasn't even blue and white. It was green and black. And then TJ's was a modern day computer, but old, you know. It probably had like Windows 91 in it or whatever. I don't know what was before 95, but probably that operating system. About 95. Huh. Did 95 come out in 95?
Yeah, basically.
Windows 95.
Windows 98.
98. Well, it couldn't have been, I mean, less. It was in 95, so whatever they had. But it was awesome. Like, the golf graphics were way better.
Uh-huh.
And then you just sit there and hit a golf ball over and over and over. Loved it. Yeah. Mulligan. And then I'd get a hole in one or get it close enough where I'm, you know, getting double eagles and shit.
Oh, it looks like Trav talking about beating a game in 25 hours. Meanwhile, it took me 198 hours to 100% complete Assassin's Creed Valhalla. LOL.
Right. Well, that's what I'm getting at. But, like, how long did it take you to save the princess?
That's completing the game. Now, the question of it is, though, is that going through on all 3 levels? Because maybe they don't do it anymore, but it used to be you could start at easy, and then you had mediocre level, and then you had hard, and then sometimes some of the games have super hard level. And then in those different levels, you have the ability to unlock other quests and do other things. So my question, Luke, is you're saying 198 hours to 100% complete it. Is that like complete it in the sense of at every single hardness level? And also, every single quest you possibly could, even all the hidden ones that they like to hide in those kind of games. Matthew says, Ms. D, play Command and Conquer for real-time strategy. You're a general fighting a war when you build your troops and collect resources to outwit and dominate the other team. Not my bag, Matthew, not my bag. That kind of shits my brother all over it. I fucking hate strategy games. I hate them. I do not do well at them, and I don't like them, and I don't enjoy them. My mom and my brother, perfect. They love that crap. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it.
Hate.
Not a big fan. Hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely. Chris is like, Bulldogs, baby. Robbie says, on my Raspberry Pi, I have Saga Master System, Mega Drive, Game Gear, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Color, and PlayStation 1. Near enough most of the games for the consoles. Nice.
Heck yeah. How much did that cost you? Or can you just get that stuff downloaded off the internet?
I mean, you would think it would be, right? It would just be some thing.
Like you could just get it all?
Mm-hmm.
That would be sick.
Zoe Ziggler says, ow, my side. And Luke's like, OMG, freaking Seth Rollins. He's such a spaz.
Next question with all that is how do you get, what kind of remotes do you use on the Cherry Pi or whatever? Raspberry Pi.
Chris says, you guys should make video game reaction on your YouTube channel.
I mean, absolutely. I would love to do it. Like I said, I'm okay playing video games on here.
Okay, Travis doesn't like playing video games. They make him sick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of movement games, but I would watch them.
Yeah, I could play, and he would watch me play, and then you guys can watch me play and watch me make a fool of myself. Matthew says, I never played Assassin's Creed. Matthew says, Summer of the Sorts games are fun, but even modern sports games aren't pick up and play. Yeah.
Or just hit B over and over and over.
Right? Heidi from Staten Island is back in the chat
Hey.
saying the way that all of them eliminated each other is hilarious.
Right?
They're just, gearing up for the Royal Rumble. Matthew says, Misty, have you ever played The Legend of Zelda? I haven't, and I hear people say how great it is, and I've played, little parts of it here and there. I bought the game. I've bought Zelda games. Have I actually really, really played them? Kinda. Not really. A little bit here and there. Chris says, I played Ghost of Tsushima twice over. Nice.
Yeah, Wrestling Gab is going to be all over the Harry Potter game when it comes out.
Oh, yeah. That one I'll definitely do a streaming for.
We could just do it in here and just do
totally.
it.
I just kick my feet up. Probably, so that I found, it's really funny. I found that playing video games anymore make me want to fall asleep. I don't know where that came from, but I'll be playing Diablo and shit, and I'll just be like, I'm so tired. Looks like 100% completion means hardest difficulty, all quests, and all discoverable items found. There you go. I just wanted to make double sure. Some people don't look at it that way. Some people think 100% completion is that they went from the beginning to the end and that was it. 100% completion to me is you literally filled up everything to 100% and there's nothing more you can ever do with that game ever again. I've done that with PSO multiple times. Easy.
Never been a
hard.
huge fan of Rafael Nadal, but he's such a gentleman that it's hard not to cheer for him.
Is that the guy in the purple?
Mm-hmm.
This guy?
He's the one that hit that little girl in the head and went over and made sure she was okay, and she was just more embarrassed than anything.
Oh.
And he kissed her on the cheek, and she's just like, and her hat's all sideways because he lifted it up. He's like, "You okay?" And then he put it back down, so she's like,
I'm fine. Chris says, yeah, I hate, loathe entirely JRPG games except for Persona 5 games. Matthew says, Jesus, I didn't mean to make you sick, Misty. LOL, you double hate with a side of hate and a half ladle of hate. I seriously do not like them. When
I rent a car.
"Wow."
That was really loud.
When that guy rents a car, it's got to be
When you rent
announced.
a car, you better be yelling about it. Seth is all talking about Friday. He's such a dork. Chris is like, oh yeah, that Harry Potter game is going to be lit. Is this where he hits her?
Bam. Right? So he just nailed her. And he's like, "You okay?" She's like, I'm fine.
The poor ball girl.
I'm fine.
And the guy who's doing this
So
talking stuff.
She's like, "I'm okay." He's like, "Just making sure you're okay." And then they show her face again. Poor thing.
She's like, oh God, he talked to me. What do I do? She's like, I'm okay. Ah, jeez.
So I said it's so hard not to be a fan of the guy. Because he's a good person.
Right? Yeah, most of those players out there don't even think of the people who get the balls as a human.
Right?
Chris says, oh yeah, that Harry Potter game is going to be lit.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like I said, we could do it on here.
Matthew's like, Misty, you should really play the first Zelda game. You'll get down on it when you do all the side quests and the hidden game.
Yes, I played the original Zelda. Did you have the gold cartridge? Is that the one you're talking about on the Nintendo? Because they re-released it a little bit later, and it came in the gray pack, the gray cartridge, but the gold cartridge was the original from 86 or whenever the shit came out. Greatest game ever. Zelda.
There's a lot of people who are huge fans of it. Well, Luke says on PS4 and 5, you get a platinum trophy only when you officially 100% a game, and I have the trophy. Oh. Is it a metaphorical trophy, or is it a real one that they send you in the mail?
It's in the metaverse. Here comes Miz!
He's like, my mate built it for me for 120 pounds, and it comes with bought the pie on Amazon with 2 replica USB super new controllers and a decent sized memory card, and put the ROMs onto it.
Right, and
I
then
meant
what?
Super Nintendo controllers.
So that's the controllers you use, is the Super Nintendo ones?
Looks like it, yeah. Super Nintendo controllers and a decent sized memory card.
That's awesome.
Matthew's like, he's proud of renting a car. I know that guy on his ad, he's like, I'm renting a fucking car! It's like, okay, buddy. Glad you're renting a car, wacko.
Yeah, I'll have to look into those little Raspberry things. I've seen that before.
We've talked about it before. You know, I did take my Xbox 360 and I did, like, have it, like, whatever you call that.
Jailbroke
And put, like, a whole new extra hard drive in it and shit, and then did illegal things.
You're just talking about the Xbox, aren't you?
The Xbox
Just the Xbox.
360.
You did it with the 360?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I
it's the only Xbox I ever bought, except for the one we have here.
The 360.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's the Xbox before that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the original, the Xbox. Yeah. That's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah, I haven't hooked it up or done anything with it since, so who knows?
You bought a 360 too for your house and didn't
Yeah, it's in a
still in a
box.
box. This is her, like, she's crazy, man. She had a laptop computer sitting in a box. It was brand new, still in the box. And it was in 2017 when she bought it. And I'm like, I'm opening it and I'm going to use it. So that's the computer I make the thumbnails and shit on. It's in the front room. It's an i7 7th generation processor. Opened it this year. Well, 2021. Like summer of 21. Like she'll buy $1,000 things and not even open it.
It's like the dog bone controllers. He says, I never watched Harry Potter. It's not about watching. You'd have to read the books.
Read the books. Read the books.
Don't watch the movies. The movies are... I mean, they are what they are, but if you really want a really good experience with Harry Potter, read the books. Or listen to the books.
Oh, yeah, the audio versions are fine. Read them, whatever. But I would suggest doing it at least once.
Matthew says, that's why PlayStation had its controllers styled like them. Sony teamed up with Nintendo, but the deal went different, and PlayStation came out with Game CD, and Nintendo had cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they decided that who knows what's better. It looks like on consoles you get digital trophies for your account to track achievements in your games. And then in your names. Your yames. Your yammies. I love autocorrect. It's hilarious. Yammies. What the fuck are yammies? It's not yams because it's an ES. YAMES. Yammies. Matthew's like, I had a hacked PSP I bought from someone leaving Iraq when I got there. I had a bunch of hands, but mostly played NES games. Matthew's like, hello, Miss D. Tech doesn't appreciate and value. Put other things in your closet. Just kidding. I do it with clothes, too.
Oh, I guarantee she has clothes that she's never
I have
ever
clothes that still have tags on them. They're still in their original bags that I brought them from the store in.
And they're probably 12, 15 years old. Like way outdated.
Chris is like, oh, D, I thought you said you love Omicron. I do. I love COVID variants. They're my favorite. Who doesn't like Omicron?
Try to stay calm.
Robbie D's such a hoarder. It's not really hoarding. I don't really look at it as hoarding. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, don't ever use it, or I'm never getting rid of it. I have actually gone through my clothes and been like, I'm never going to wear this. I don't even know why I bought it.
Yeah.
I thought I liked it, and I thought it was cute, and then I buy it, and I'm like, oh, and then I just never take it back. So I just have clothes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to wear it. So eventually I find somebody who can wear them, and I'm like, you want this? And I just give them, they're like, this is like brand new. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's only 12 years old.
Yeah, it's all coming back. It's fine. Chris is like the eater of virus variants. No, what do you call it? It's not hoarding, though. How's that hoarding? Hoarding would be if I bought 50 of them and kept all of them. I bought one computer and never bought another one. That's not hoarding. That's just not using something.
Maurice's birthday extravaganza.
She's an impulse buyer, not a hoarder. I'm not really an impulse buyer either. I bought the computer for a specific reason. I did. I bought it for our family's trust and to do stuff on it for that specific thing. And I just never opened it up, and I never used it, and I never did anything with it. That's it. There's a difference. It's not really impulse buying either. Matthew's like, the autocorrect is the government infiltrating our daily conversations. It's a season to disrupt normal discussions in order to implement a one new language to the world. Sweet.
Exactly.
Robbie's like, Dee just lives in her Wrestling Gab hoodies. I actually don't. Travis lives in Wrestling Gab hoodies. I do not. I actually wear clothes that I have to for my job. Not like a uniform, but I have nice clothes.
It's a beautiful young woman's birthday.
A beautiful young woman's birthday.
So they said about Maurice.
I liked season better than weapon, Matthew, so I'm just going to keep with it. It's a season to disrupt normal discussion. Robbie's like, oh, could have fooled me, D, LOL. Okay, so question then. Here's a question for you. Do you collect things, Robbie? Like memorabilia? Do you collect it? Answer that. Looks like I hope Miz and Maurice get destroyed tonight. Screw waiting for the Rumble.
Well, she hit what's her name last week with a
I
brick.
imagine that the big gift is probably going to be a human. The fuck is it?
I can't tell.
I can't see it. There's such a bad glare on it. Oh, there you go.
Is it the Miz?
It's Miz and her in a painted
Why was
photo
it
or
so
something.
white in the other direction?
I think it's the glare.
Oh, from the lights? That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I want that on my mantle.
You want that on your mantle? We don't even have a mantle. We have to make a mantle first. Silly.
Yeah.
They're in the big gold box.
Anybody that comes out of a box is already over. That's the old-fashioned wrestling style. If they come out of a box, it's over. The fans will love it.
It's happening. There's a big fat gold box there. You know that there's a human in it. And if not, they're under that table.
There's somebody probably under the table also. There's probably two people. What is it?
A hamburger?
A shamburger?
What is that?
A puppy?
It's
a
glitter.
journal? I don't know. A jewelry box? I have no idea. Is it a brick?
I guess.
No limit.
Oh my god.
You got it from
gross.
Master P.
Oh my god, Master P reference.
Even Corey Graves
I
said
have
it.
no idea what's happening. I'm like, what?
N-O-L-A-M-A-T.
Matthew's like, I collect random things with nothing of value anymore. I still have the fussy issue of SmackDown magazine and it's plastic. Okay?
You can see it vibrating.
Chris says, no live sex celebration. PG version is a Bay-Day party, and Marie's not wearing her Rikishi outfit tonight.
So Miss is going to know. So he knows they're in there. See? He's not stupid. They're going to attack it, and nobody's going to be in it. They're under the table.
Get up here. They're not going to be in the box now. It's like, I want you to open that. What is that?
He's all scared. Is it a brick?
It's a brick.
That's what I thought was in the thing that was no limit.
Oh, right. That's what I thought that was, too.
He got it bedazzled.
It's all like, look at it. It's so pretty. Rob's like, I used to collect records for my turntables. Matthew's like, yes, T-Rex, the box is over. And Luna says, yeah, over-the-top security is not going to help. Matthew says, I can't wait to hear Vami talk about the box. And Robbie says, hella cringe this segment. Chris is like, The Fiend? And Robbie's like, is Edge and Beth? No.
They're probably under the table doing a live sex celebration.
So, I'm going to tell you this. How many records did you collect? 10? 100? Then you're a hoarder.
I have some Elvis Presley records downstairs.
See how that goes? You can't just say somebody's a hoarder because they buy something and don't open it.
Yeah, my buddy's a millionaire with his baseball cards, but he's a hoarder.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, you just can't. It's like, okay, like, your definition of hoarder is not, like, it doesn't fit. Square, round, hole. No, we're not here. Like, continue watching? No.
Everybody on your feet. Sorry. I'm up, buddy.
Robbie wants to know, is Edge and Beth coming out? I don't know. And Lou's like, into a bloodbath. In for a bloodbath?
Okay, ready? Are we going to say his wife or Maurice?
Are you singing happy birthday?
Yeah, but I don't know if we're supposed to sing it to my wife or Maurice.
Do not boo, boo. It's her birthday celebration.
Put your hand up and they'll shut up. 2, 3. You think you know me. Happy you. I don't know.
Oh, my Lord.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, my God.
Happy birthday, dear Marie.
Worst speeding party ever.
Ah, shit. Happy birthday to you. Look,
Much better music playing.
Here they
now.
come.
Oh, Lord. They look like fucking retards. This whole thing is just...
They're the grit
stupid.
couple.
Oh, were they? Oh, my God, seriously. Looks like ... And Matthew says they are seriously ending Raw like this before the Rumble.
She looks like her legs are a little heavy. Her upper arms look good, though.
Bobby says, nah, I ain't a hoarder. I bought the records to play D, plus the tunes I was buying, you could only get them on vinyl. Hoarder. Doesn't matter if you use them or play them.
The glam is on.
You still collected something, multiples of something. You're a hoarder. Rob is like, that's why WWE is losing viewers. And Chris says, not exactly Monroe's Serenade, but Miz singing was funny. Yeah, definitely not a Marilyn Monroe.
I mean, look at these haters.
She's just
The
beating
grit
up
couple.
The security guys.
Look at all
That's
these
right.
haters surrounding me every day.
I think this is the most gayest thing I've ever seen.
3D.
Like these two, this is fucking retarded. Like, the whole thing is just...
You're supposed to get excited because it's vintage. The Grit couple. They're just beating up security guards because they're bullies.
Yeah, I guess. Luna's like, well, good night, everyone. I got Lashley's like, yeah, I'm gone. I was like, LOL, big difference, but we move.
Oh, through the table, right into the gifts.
Hopefully there wasn't anything in there that was, you know...
Like a puppy
Yeah, alive.
or a snake.
Matthew's like, happy birthday was once copyrighted and no one could sing it on TV or movies.
That's hilarious.
Should never be copyrighted. That's just dumb. As Chris says, cringe fest. Lieutenant Martha's laughing. Saturday in St. Louis.
Old Saturday. Peacock. Well, that's it for that.
Matthew says the Nuts is great wrestler because he is so easily hated. The Miz. Yes, The Miz is, yes. As Luke says, night all. Exactly. Matthew's like, Miz, not Nuts. Robbie's like, they put this as the main event should have been at the start.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought too. But they did the weigh-in with the big guys. That would have been fine at the end.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything after it.
Yeah, it's not like they did a weird thing or something. Chris is like, but wouldn't mind if Edge put them in the Edge O-cater. All right, well, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. As you know, the pay-per-view is coming up this Saturday. So that was the last Raw before the pay-per-view. I don't know if it really was a very good go-home show, but whatever.
There will be a SmackDown this Friday before the show. That'll be the last WWE event before the pay-per-view.
Right. Will Hunter says, I was hoping for a surprise reveal for the Rumble at the end, hopefully. And Robbie says, well, Raw was bad.
It was a little longer tonight than most
Yeah,
nights.
it seemed like it was like 5 hours instead of only 3. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. We appreciate all of you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Wrestling Gab. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.